Welcome. It's Aaron Live. I'm here with Shelley Showtime. It's September 26th, 2021.
Oh, I thought you were going to stop at 2000. I was going to go, oh, yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
But no, it isn't. We're really this old. So welcome, everybody.
No.
I know.
It's so sad.
It is.
What's everybody up to?
Well, flying saucer is here.
Oh, there. Yeah.
Leg Kick's here because Leg Kick is always here.
Dependable.
That's right.
Yeah. What else?
Not going to happen, but thanks for the suggestion. Gabriel is here. Hyper Potato.
Tater.
He's got 2/3 of that correct.
Uh-oh.
Sundays are for rest, worship, and... So right out of the gate.
Oh, man.
Right out of the gate.
Nice.
Let's see who else is here. JP Roca's here.
Yeah.
Aaron Louviere.
You see?
Brody Leinbruggen.
That's a new one.
That sounds very German, doesn't it?
Nice.
Brody Leinbruggen.
Wow.
Like that. Larry W's here. We haven't seen Larry W in a long time.
Yeah.
Good day, mate. Now, wait a minute. Are you telling me Brody Leinbruggen is Australia?
That would be
That's
amazing.
what he's implying.
Yeah.
Skits Comics
y'all.
is here.
From Texas?
Definitely not from Australia.
Hey, y'all.
Raving Sith from Oregon, right here in Oregon, is here. Jeff Potts.
Still a few of us that
wow, Jeff really went out on a limb
Jeffrey.
there.
Hey.
Hey, Aaron and Shelley, Hill Comics.
Hey.
Gabriel, very good colorist there.
Oh, nice. Hi, Jeffrey.
Detective Buckets.
Nice.
Have we ever seen Detective Buckets before?
So.
I don't think so. Welcome, Detective
Hi.
Buckets. Now we're talking. All hail the 97K.
Shall I check?
Man, how about that?
Let me check.
That's the kind of things we want to hear. And let me send this out to you. Yeah, did you refresh?
Oh, it's really slow.
Oh.
So I have like 5,000 tabs open. Oh. So my bad. What's that?
We're on that.
Oh.
But she gets a map of the United States instead. Well, that's close to what we're looking for.
Oh.
Are you saying he's or New Zealand? That's true. It could be Australia or New Zealand.
Nice.
Mike TV Dub is here. Throwback Studios. Hi, Aaron and Shelley. I'm Christopher Blaylock, Fine Arts. He has many different labels and names and avatars, if you will. Yeah. Oh, Larry just moved across the country. Now I'm settled in Pennsylvania. Okay, how about that?
Until kickoff.
Love this. Brian, suddenly old. Hello,
oh my
Oregon.
gosh, that's us.
Stephen Ing is here. Hi, Aaron and Cheryl. Only here for a short time until kickoff. I understand completely. It is Sunday. It is football season. I get it.
Well, some people enjoy football season.
Not me.
Not right now. Not even close.
A little frustrated right now.
Oh, it's a sad day.
It is. It was a rough Saturday for me. Let's take a moment to do a public service announcement, though, shall we?
Do it.
Wow. That's pretty good timing. I almost had that perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so today, in a little bit, David Williams will be joining us for round 5 of competitive drawing. I'm not even sure what we're going to do.
Did you warm up?
I never warm up. I just go for it.
Hurt yourself.
I don't stretch out either. Might pull a hammy. So, Aaron, wait a minute here now. So, Aaron, do you think you can finally beat David Williams in drawing contest? I think there's an implication that I have never
fighting words.
Never beaten a David, but I don't think that's accurate.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go, Jeff. You got it early. Got that out of the way. Oh. You know, there's 2 of us here.
Well, for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and then David will come on and then he'll still be 2. Any more cons this year? That's a good question.
No. I'm not doing Seattle in December because it's Seattle in December. And
And
why would I want to drive up to Seattle in December?
well, why would you want to drive to Seattle?
Period.
Any month? Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not the greatest drive.
No, I am. No, as soon as this campaign is over, I am working. Plus, we've got a wedding in December.
Yes.
Our son's getting married, so we're going to be at that.
Should we start working out now, like nonstop till then?
I think that's a good idea.
We might look somewhat decent. Maybe.
I was actually thinking about doing Dark Side tonight, so how about that? But speaking of, what did you just say? Something about should we go on a diet or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got this for our snack treats today. These are organic gummy bears from the Black Forest, no less, which is in Germany, I believe.
Hope you enjoy it. Yeah. I have my own snack.
Oh, Shelley, what did you bring? What did you share
brought me a White Claw. After.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, she's gonna pop it. Refreshing.
Yep. Hopefully none of my students are watching.
Well, if you can't watch this on the small screen, watch this on the wide screen. I hear it's the next best thing.
Oh gosh, I'm wide enough. I don't need to be on a wide screen. Oh. Yeah.
Seattle in December is like going to London without the 12-hour flight or foreign language.
Thank you, Brian. My brother's name is Brian. Shelley with a beard. That's what we call him, right? Just moved to Texas yesterday.
He did. Got the heck out of here.
We were a little bit jealous, actually.
But here we sit.
Yep.
It's cooling off, though, a little bit, finally.
Kind of.
Kind of like Iceman. It's not unreasonable.
So go to Jeffrey's.
This one?
Yeah.
When I got married, my father-in-law was doing shots with the other relatives before the ceremony started.
In celebration or commiserating?
I hope that ended well for you.
No, we won't be doing that.
All right.
I'm loud enough as it is.
Worst wedding story ever.
You better not say ours.
Okay, second worst wedding story. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Not the neck.
No. I should, yeah. There's a little annoying with me there. I was also thinking about Thor as well. Okay, so I won't mention any names, but
was I there?
No, this was before your time. Way before your time. Way before your time. Like I wasn't even 21 yet.
Oh wow, I was still in high school.
So the guy got married. I hope he's not watching. And his wife's father did not have a great relationship with some of the other family members. So he and his son went outside and were duking it out before the wedding. We were had to pull them off each other. They were pulling off their coats and they were.
The father of the bride and the brother of the bride.
Yes.
Wow.
It was very intense.
Were you like reffing or anything for him? Or?
No, we were kind of looking at each other going, is this really happening? And then it was like, okay, now we got to stop this. So.
Wow. Okay, that won't be happening.
Will there be White Claw at the open bar for dress rehearsal of the wedding?
If I'm there better be.
Well, our son's getting married, so we're not really responsible for paying for this one. So we go to whatever they've got.
Well, and they're super smart because of all the crap going on in Oregon that they're just doing a small ceremony. It'll be super nice. And then we'll do a big party in the summer.
In the summer, right. So
it'll be beautiful in the snow and it's going to be really good.
We'll be able to ice all the drinks, the White Claw just out in the snow.
I'll be hiding them out.
Exactly. Go around back. Shelley's going,
I'll be right back.
Don't start yet. I got to go around back.
I'll be right back. Man, your mom's gone a long time.
I'll have to be dragging her in out of the snow. She's like, everybody get married.
No, super classy.
Yeah.
And they must be talking about you.
No, they're talking about the fight. About
I'm a quick one.
Exactly. A Hot Meal, Fat Meals, and McCoy's fight.
Within the same family.
That's exactly what it is.
Ooh, I'm a quick one today.
Oh, you just
That's right.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So we can bring as much White Claw as we want then, can't we?
Yeah, but we might. It just depends on the whole situation.
That's
We
right.
might pitch in for everything because they're going to do it twice.
Yeah.
So you never know. You know, a lot of money we've got. Cha-ching.
That's a good question. Well, see,
we should start saving now for our daughters, though.
Yeah, I know. We got to get her through college first.
She's going to want like a whole thing.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Don't depress me with financial woes.
I'll sell the kidney. It'll be all right.
Yeah. Randy Hall's jumped in from Canada.
Ooh.
Oh, brother.
He's already gearing up.
Like he's already. See, I told him not to come in until 5:30, but he's trying to psych me out backstage. I'm not going to let him in right yet. I'm just not going to. Neener. I have control. Okay, but Shelley, it's time to take a look at For the Rights and Image of today.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're not going to like this one.
Oh, great. Okay. Gotcha.
So there you go. That was from Wrightson's adaptation of the H.P. Lovecraft story "Cool Air." That was
us this summer.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was you and me on the couch. And that was 1975, Warren Magazine production, black and white horror magazine. It was
reminded me of how I looked yesterday.
Oh, it was rough going yesterday.
It was a bad one, but after a bad day is always a good day.
That's right.
Yeah.
So between 19 really.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, teach us up. Do it.
Between 1972, which is when Swamp Thing #1 came out.
Yes. Not the neck.
And 1978.
Yes.
Were Wrightson's like prime years, especially 1975 to 78 were just like, it's like the mountaintop of Wrightson was right in there. So there you go.
Gotcha. Let's see.
He's in no rush. He's just relaxing.
I ain't got nothing but time.
I can see his screen on there,
David,
but I don't see
got
him.
nothing but time.
He's probably not even in the room.
Yeah, like kick, not the neck. That's a good one, Randy.
Bad enough you can't keep the pets off the furniture. I know, isn't that terrible?
Yeah, you'd call that a rough weekend. Yep.
Oh
no, Jeffrey. Yeah, one of these days. Oh
my goodness. All righty. So, Shelley, anything you want to share with the group before we move on?
You didn't tell me I had to prepare something.
Well, we never do.
Oh, I know we win. We're so bad. Thanks for all the kind messages. Today's a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll get better. Enough chiropractor visits and my cervicogenic vertigo and headaches should at least let up a little bit. But I'm ready for some. You're eating a red one. Those are the good ones.
Yeah, they're almost all red and orange. There's only like a couple of yellow ones in there, which
I should try it together.
Why would you even put yellow ones in?
But no, I'm looking forward to this week, getting it done. Haven't heard from our daughter very much. Last year, she FaceTimed me almost every day and spoiled me like she really missed me. And now I have to text her, are you still alive? So
she must be enjoying something.
She's more independent. So maybe she will drive soon. And yeah.
Here's hoping.
Yes, pain.
No, I told her. I said she's got to get her license when she gets home for the summer.
I even told her
I said
I would buy her a good car. Like I would take a car payment, a little one, but I would buy her a nice car. No, nope, nothing. Wouldn't go for it. I would have.
Heck yeah, I would have been there if you buy me a new car.
I was at DMV like before they opened on my birthday. Wet hair, like let me.
I know, me too.
But I did woke up to a 72 Mustang convertible. So
that's true. That's a little bit better.
I was ready to drive.
I had a 68 Le Mans, which at one point was a cool car.
But not when you drove it.
No.
My car was a cool car, even when I drove it.
Oh, here, Shelley, wait a minute.
What? Not the neck!
It's for you.
Not the neck!
All right, let's take a little visit to Frazetta Land, shall we?
Ooh, okay.
So
I like
give us your observation, Shelley.
I liked how he did the tree in the back with the white,
Mhm.
and how it came out.
And you noticed on the gravestone?
His name was on the gravestone.
That's right. That's a
And I think
clever way of signing it with.
Oh, see, I didn't get to that part. That part. I'm such a dork. But I did like
No, I'm sorry.
Nope.
Okay.
Are you crazy? Is that your problem?
I mean,
Yep.
I don't know what to say at this point.
Yeah,
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
All right.
it's inherited in the system.
It's inherited in the system. It is.
Do you have any precious moments? I could go
Yeah.
on them.
Well,
Let's do one. Oh, you want to stretch it out more?
stretch it out. Stretch it out. No, because I do have some visual aids.
Oh,
Now,
see, I don't know. This is all new to me too, so this is good.
no, now you guys,
Mhm.
you can still buy magazines, when you like leave the grocery store, like in the checkout aisle.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but
Right.
they mostly have like, guess who's divorcing now? And
I know, but
who's
occasionally,
regretting their.
I know, but occasionally they'll have one of these.
When'd you see that?
45th anniversary. Now this is a year old, but I only bring this up to set up the next one
Oh,
because
gotcha.
this was like the first one, right? Actually, I think they did one with Frankenstein too. I may have that tucked away. But look, there's pictures of sharks in there.
Nice. Ooh.
Scary pictures of sharks.
So are you supposed to punch sharks like in the eye?
I think in the nose, aren't you?
Oh, I don't know. I've never been.
Wasn't that
like
sweet?
that.
Spielberg setting up a shot with Chief Brody and his wife in bed there.
Oh, so sweet.
So you get all this kind of behind the scenes stuff.
Do you wonder if like they really didn't like each other at all? Don't they like have sort of like successful shows and people couldn't stand each other?
That happens all the time, but I've never heard anything about this other than
I
Richard
couldn't do it. I'm not that good of an
Richard
actress.
Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw.
Is that the captain of the ship?
Quint. He was given Hooper or Matt
Hoopa.
Matt Hooper. Richard Dreyfuss kind of a hard time because he was staying in character, and so there was a little bit of
We almost named our dog Hooper, just
did.
so Aaron could go around the house going,
Hooper. Hooper drives the boat,
"Oh,
Chief. Okay, but then this came out like a couple weeks ago is all. Life magazine, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the last 40th anniversary.
But that was life changing for you.
It was.
Mhm.
It got me on the path to film school instead of art school, which
Little
I don't know.
detour,
I don't know.
an
if that was-
expensive
I don't know if
detour.
that was a good idea or not. But look, they're all just sort of hanging. They're just sort of hanging
Nice.
out. Behind the scenes action.
I like me some Harrison Ford.
He's a good looking man.
Mhm.
Can't have to admit it. Even as an old geezer, he's a good looking man.
I really like Sean Connery too. And
Um,
Denzel. I like me some Denzel.
Denzel Washington.
Mhm.
I love Denzel Washington.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Okay.
we're way behind.
See, David is just talking trash. I'm not gonna let him in.
Well, we're all about education here,
That's right.
David.
That's all we're about.
For our visual learners,
Oh, wait a minute. Jeff
it's
says
the nose.
that's what I said. It's the nose. It's
Well,
you gouge the eyes
here.
and rake the
But
gills.
see, sequential treasure says, yeah.
And it's the nose. I've never actually
Well, if I'm ever there, I'm sure I'll be able to. No, I can't punch you here. I must punch you here.
Yeah, I would just be going.
Well,
as
from my
it's
days of
chewing on me.
kickboxing, I
That's
can do
right.
it pretty good.
Because you do it
Punch.
underwater.
Slower.
Yeah, it's much.
And I
slower.
probably won't
Won't
have
be effective.
gloves on. You have to go way up.
Oh, I don't
Way
know.
out.
No, we've been there.
Do.
Keep
Mm,
pumping out Wraith of God books. She can get a Beamer.
no, my dad always forbid me for driving a Beamer.
No. We're not a
They're
big,
expensive to work on, he always said.
Yeah, I
so,
know. That's the thing. George Lucas famously said the only thing more expensive than an expensive car is maintenance on an expensive car.
Oh,
Something to that effect. That was a very loose paraphrase.
yeah.
But I always
Speaking of maintenance, we got to talk.
Oh no.
Yeah, I need brakes and tires.
Oh,
But other than that,
well,
my car's fine.
you're making more money than I am right now.
It's a sad state of affairs.
I know. The little Presti live streams make me want food like I'm watching the Food Network. Just wait till I do my kicking episode. My my cooking episode.
Wait.
What?
Huh?
What this?
No.
This?
Yeah.
PT with Bailey. If you're more toward the Hillsborough side of Portland, she works wonders for back and shoulder. Physical therapy with Bailey.
Where at? I grew up in Hillsborough. My
She
stomping, man. My
high school. Went to high school there.
My dad used to own Mackenzie Ford before his partner stole it from him. Yeah.
There you go. That's my plan, my master plan.
It would be a good one.
I'd be too.
Kate and the
That'd be cool.
badassery. Yeah.
It could actually be a really good Netflix show or something. I mean, they did with Westworld, right? So.
Oh, Sons of Liberty. Oh. Cut me off.
Oh.
He's gonna go back to comments.
I'm right here. I'm at comics. Where?
I need the mouse.
Uh-oh.
Oh. As I say to my students, you feeling brave today?
You can't let that just go.
Give him the jellyfish. Give him the jellyfish.
I can find it.
I'm a little bit high maintenance, only in, what am I high maintenance in? Are you feeling brave?
I'm sorry, what did you
get my
say?
nails? Am I high maintenance? I get my nails done. That's high maintenance. I like my bling.
No, she's not high maintenance.
Yeah. Let's see. Office. Oh.
What? What the
Eric?
What does that even mean?
Well, at least
I'll give it to him twice on that.
Are you done now?
Yeah, I think
at least
so.
he didn't say it was me.
Oh boy, that would have really been trouble.
I would have. Oh, I would have came right through. We're Ethernet now. I can.
I know that's
right
right.
in.
This is what quality looks like with the Ethernet hooked up.
They're like, we liked it better on Wi-Fi.
Okay, now that we've killed enough time, and I talked about the Life magazines, we can now do our precious moments.
Oh, okay. Well, are you gonna? You
know what?
Do it?
Why don't you let me? I got
Click
two
already.
Look, I got two right there.
Seriously. I'll just be quiet and have a drink.
Here's some precious moments. So you remember.
That was really good.
Oh.
Called it, didn't I?
What'd you say? The minute I put that on?
Harryhausen.
She knows who Harryhausen is.
Taught me a few things.
I was stunned. How in the world would you
See what happens? See what happens?
Choked on a. How would you know who Harryhausen is?
Choked on a gummy bear, didn't you?
I did.
You're ripping on me. How did I know?
Yeah, how do you know Harryhausen?
Well, now it's my turn. Came over for chicken that one
I was
time.
going to say, he came over for dinner. Like, when was that? Was I not home?
I've lived in this house or in a house with you for almost 29 years.
Well, I guess the name Harryhausen probably came up more than once.
Well, yeah. And it was like, yeah, I've learned a few things.
That was
listen.
Sadly, that was the colorized version of 10 Million Miles to Earth.
Gotcha.
Because it originally was a black and white film. But
good to know.
They colorized it.
Okay.
It's terrible.
I'm impressed. Aren't you impressed?
I am impressed.
I'm impressed with myself.
Choked on a gummy bear.
Mm-hmm.
So did you.
Yep.
Little Presti v. Haribo.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I don't know the words.
It was like dun, 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 dun.
But yeah, I know the tune, but I don't know the.
That's funny.
Right.
Let's see. Yep. Harryhausen. Oh, yep. Yep.
Get
Yep.
precious moments. Aren't those the ceramic dolls? My mother collected those when I was a kid.
Hallmark.
Yeah. This is how she's high maintenance. Shelley doesn't appreciate that.
I can admit it.
Oh, at least
There's certain things I'm high maintenance on.
well, I mean that's the first step to recovery, right? Is admitting you got a
Right.
problem.
But yeah, moving
Oh,
on.
they're giving us the
moving on up.
lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, songs that made the hit parade. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's funny. Yeah, you'll be Meathead. Just saying.
Actually, he's a pretty good director.
Yeah, it's true.
What do you mean? It's always an episode of the Bickersons. You kidding me?
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh,
no, there was
Meathead,
You have to
Mrs.
even
Meathead.
ask. I'll be Edith.
Oh, look at this. Would that make Aaron Edith?
Oh.
No, but it'll make you this.
Say.
Archie!
Archie! Yeah. That is so funny. You got to go up. What?
If you keep triggering the water audio, the chat's going to need more toilet breaks.
I don't think it.
Yeah.
Wait.
We were already up here.
No. I think there was one more up here. Up. No.
Oh, AJ Tom says, "Hey, time for the Shelley Show. Thanks for bringing Aaron, Shelley. Wow, that's
You're welcome.
fantastic. You know,
Glad he could be here.
that makes
tonight
me
with us.
feel special inside. I hope this makes you feel painful inside."
Thought we were going to say special.
No,
No.
special in a bad way.
Oh, that's so funny.
Gloria and Meathead.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't want to be Gloria though. I like to be Edith. Archie. We'll change it to Aaron.
All right, let's quit fooling around. Let's get David
All right.
in here. See what he's got to say.
Did you
if
get warmed up?
anything, I'm warmed up. I showed all the videos. I got nothing. Oh, wait a minute. I do
I
have
got
something.
nothing.
Look at this.
Oh, okay, that's from
We just watched
Argonauts
this guy.
or something.
No, we just watched this. He just wrestled that elephant in Precious
Oh, I'm
Moments.
so dumb.
That's
Don't
the.
answer
This is the emir.
Holy kick.
It's the emir,
Oh, the
or as we
Emir.
called him when we were little, the yimmer.
The
So it's
Yimmer?
YMIR.
Mm.
Remember that's what Josh and I used to call him when Josh was little.
Yeah.
So this is came out in 2001. Made
Yes,
in China.
This
There's
room is full of
shot.
toys.
I wonder if I should probably still have the box for this because I don't ever throw the box away. I just store them in the garage with all the rest of our junk. But yeah, that's a pretty cool.
No, they're up on the
it's a pretty
thing.
cool action figure.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Shelley
meats and
versus
stuff.
Cecil. He doesn't stand a chance.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so anyway, I wanted to share the.
Thank
the
you, Leg
Emir-
Kick.
What? What do you say?
Looks.
You can start calling someone meathead,
Mhm.
beat me, Randy, ha 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 ha. We subscribe for Shelley. Oh, that's good to know.
Mhm. We're good for something, apparently.
Here's a little subscription bonus for you.
This is a good purchase.
Are they all gone?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, you got White Claw and you ate half these? Jiminy Christmas. Oh
Mm.
man. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh,
La
no.
Revolution!
She's got White Claw gummy bears and she's gone nuts and now
Mike's here.
Mike's
I'm good.
here to start the
It's
revolution.
just
But
a
hey,
trifecta.
all right. I keep seeing a picture in the green room of David Williams' drawing board, but I
But
don't see a
not
picture of David Williams. But my guess is he's lurking
Are you there?
about.
Oh, there he is. He's waving.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let me bring in the hand of David Williams
Not the rest
along
of
with his art board. You might know him as the artist Bass Reeves.
Mhm.
You might know him as my art nemesis.
Oh.
You might know him just as Brohawk. Ladies and gentlemen, please
I know him
welcome
as
in,
David.
or welcome back, I should say.
Yeah.
David Williams and his light table.
Hello, sir.
Light table, it's out of
Oh, he's
focus.
fed on black.
There he is.
Autofocus.
Dude, no,
Are we
I've got-
doing sign language tonight? Is that what?
I don't know, maybe he's doing like hand puppets or something. Dude, focus your camera, man. Everything's blurry.
Oh, sugar.
I don't know why. Hold on.
Well, don't.
Oh, nope. Technical difficulties. Oh, I know it was Aaron's photo negative.
You're still blurry.
You look like us with our Wi-Fi.
You have-
I'm reading your fortune.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I know.
Oh.
You better read your own because it's not going to go well for you tonight.
Uh-oh.
Well, look at you with your rune language.
Well,
It
Do you have, like,
says
options or something
Aaron
off?
is effed. See? See the
keep going
F?
down. Go up, borrow Aaron.
Dang.
Oh,
It'll
fun.
focus. Hold on. It'll focus. Let's just talk. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. You know kickboxing, Shelly?
Yeah. Well, I did it as workout for about 1.5 years, maybe. Yeah, I was pretty badass back then, but then it was a little hard for me with my neck and shoulders and stuff, but I loved it. There's nothing like kicking and hitting stuff.
Yeah.
It's like way cheaper than bail money, so it worked really well for me.
Did Aaron warrant any of your smoke?
No, he was kind of well behaved back then. Now it kind of makes sense.
I find
But
that
you know, me being the high maintenance that I am, my boxing gloves and wraps had to match my workout outfit.
Gotcha.
Because I've got standards.
So how many different pairs of boxing gloves did you have for this class? Like 20?
5 or 6.
That's what I'm saying. They're all different colors. They can
Purple
all
and
match.
black and red and white and silver. Purple.
Is that purple twice?
Oh, wait, did I say it? Okay, yeah, I said that
So
twice.
you did 2 pair of
No, I had
purples?
pink, purple, black, red, silver.
White. That's
red,
5.
red.
6.
I think that was it.
That's
some were
all?
heavier, some were lighter when you're feeling more like you need to really punch something hard.
And
we
then
actually have a bag in the garage.
Yeah, she bought a bag in the garage that has not been used.
Haven't touched.
since you
Well, I've
bought it.
touched it once.
Yeah, we moved it out of the way because it was in the way. That's the time we touched it.
I suck.
We filled it up with water, though. I remember that.
Oh yeah, it's heavy. But yeah, I loved it. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And I miss my peoples from them. They would play Pitbull's Fireball song just for me. That's what I need.
Like for an
Some
intro?
Fireball. Dun, 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 dun.
Well,
That one.
you'll have to go buy that yourself. I did
Domestic
buy.
violence Shelly action figure coming soon. Okay, David, you're still blurry, man.
I'm trying to fix it. I don't know what's going on. But we can still talk.
Absolutely.
You're worse at technology than I am.
Yeah, I am.
I gotta give this guy a little laugh.
Yeah.
Domestic violence action figure.
And then, of course, girls got to accessorize. Of course. Fashion first.
Well,
I'm such a fashion plate anymore.
No, that's what that was your motto when we first met. Fashion first.
And then but no, it was really fun. I love kickboxing. It was really fun.
Did you ever learn how to do the Van Damme splits and high kicks?
No. I'd still be there on the ground if I did. But I loved the combos and oh gosh, it was really fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open up my see, now it's in focus when your hand's like super close to it. Don't you have a focus adjustment or something on that?
No. I'm looking. You're usually just supposed to do this and bring it back, and then.
Oh no, I didn't bedazzle my gloves. Thought about it.
See,
although I did bedazzle kind of when I broke my ankle. I did glue bling and stuff all over my cast.
It's true. Seriously, David, when your hand is like 2 inches from the camera, it's in focus.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Usually, it'll track with you and it'll stay in focus, but it's not doing it for some strange reason.
You're gonna have a pretty hard time winning this competition if we can't see your drawing.
No, it'll go into focus.
Keep hoping.
Oh,
hey, did you ever finish any of those commission pieces that you were previewed on the show? I don't know, a month ago. You know, those you had pencil drawings of like Robin and Batman and.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Did you ever finish any of those?
I'm still working on those, but I was working on some other ones that were owed sooner,
I
and I did Spider-Man, and I did a huge like
that's a really beautiful out of focus Spider-Man.
You tell it's Spidey.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Hold
some
on.
people are saying maybe plug it back in.
That's what I'm thinking I might do.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Bloop, and then bloop.
That's right. We'll cover
God, my
for you.
face is all red. It's
Like you
warmish
weren't
in
even here.
Oh,
He isn't
Back up,
here.
Shelley.
No, he isn't here.
back up, Shelly.
Give me some distance.
That's a lot of Shelly right
Now
there.
look what's right behind me, right between us,
Mhm.
behind us.
Batman's going.
Batman.
I like me some garbage man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, you know, that Batman statue,
I wonder who bought that for you.
I think I bought that myself.
I don't think so.
Did you get that for me for Christmas?
I don't know. Probably.
See, she doesn't even know.
This is
She's
from the
making
Warner
stuff up.
Brothers store.
Yeah, from the old Warner Brothers stores, which are now closed.
Yeah.
That thing only cost $20.
But you had a discount.
Oh, that's right, because I work for DC, right?
Who's got the memory now?
Yeah, it's all come.
I usually have a horrible memory. So, yeah.
You're fired. No.
Thank you. Uh-oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
So
Let's
he-
bring him back in. Yeah,
man.
that's better.
Oops. Hold on.
Oops, an echo. Oh, that's funny.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
better.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, now we can see. There we
muy
go.
bueno.
Okay, so this is an actual commission that someone's giving you money for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the final. I got to mail it off ASAP.
Oh,
It's flexible.
nice. So you're just doing straight black and white on that.
Yep.
Nice.
But I also had a long waiting. I have a whole bunch of those long waiting commissions where I just got to knock them out and finally get them to these people. But I had a piece that I had to do with Kingpin
Holy crap.
and Shang-Chi, Iron Fist,
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, and the person who commissioned it. I'm not
Okay.
saying who it is. I'll let them say it once they post it.
He wanted in on the action, huh?
Yes, he did. And here's the final.
Oh, dude, you even did it in color? Holy
Yeah.
crap. Look at that. That's awesome. Okay, slide it down. We're looking at Kingpin's crotch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Can't see Shang-Chi.
Cute.
Slide
Oh.
down so you can see Shang-Chi. Is that on two pieces of board? Is that like a double?
Yeah. It's 2 11 by 17s.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Nice work, David.
70s Cage, of course, because there's no other Cage. Oh, I love that Kingpin face. It's awesome. That guy kind of looks like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Now, did you color that with markers?
Yes.
Good job getting some depth in there.
That's really nice. I probably should give you full screen for that, shouldn't I?
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Booful.
So how long from layout to finish do you put into something like that? Is that, I'm not necessarily hours, but is you work on that for a week? You do that in a couple days?
When everything's going right, it should just be a few days, but other work came into play, and life issues and all that other kind of stuff kind of delays it. And then also I had a few mistakes working on this where the paper that I was using wasn't working, so I had to start over.
Ugh.
I hate
Yeah.
that.
And sometimes like this marble paper may have some like little pockets of wax on them and stuff, and the marker won't adhere right, no
Really?
matter how. So it made me start all over.
So are you working on the back of a couple sheets of marble paper?
Yep.
Cool. Gotcha.
So that's the kind of stuff I've been working on lately.
That's cool.
Still working on Bass Reeves, trying to get that
course.
done. And then I got some other things that I think we talked about in private that is coming.
Yep.
Nice.
And I got to see some of that, which was pretty darn cool. Mike Miller's a little stunned. He's like, "You still have Marvel paper? That is pretty impressive, actually, that you still have Marvel paper."
I got Marvel and DC paper. Got tons of it.
Mhm.
I'll have you send me some.
I ain't sending you.
I know.
Oh,
The paper I use for commissions, the 11 by 17 stuff, they don't carry at the local Blix anymore. I got to order it, and every time I order paper from them, it ends up coming dinged and bent up.
mhm.
So, but I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah. Actually, some of this old Marvel paper is, I mean, it's good to draw on, but it's not good to color on because it's like coloring on a paper towel. It just absorbs the markers.
Yeah,
And dries them out really quick.
yeah. I don't think I've actually had any official Marvel paper for years.
Gosh, a long time.
I had some left over when I went to DC, but that's long gone. So I don't even remember how good or bad it was. Because all the DC stuff I got was the slick stuff, so it was like coated paper. But I don't even have that anymore. All I'm doing is buying my own from Blix.
Blix.
You ever
Good.
get this? You ever
Yeah,
get
that's what I use.
this?
That's
Yeah, this
exactly.
is what I use too. It's good. I like
But
it.
there's the 500 series. I think it's 500 series. It has like the superhero drawing on it.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't have any blue lines on it. It has just a little bit of tooth to it, and I use that for my commissions. But that's the stuff they don't carry anymore at my local art supply, so I'm gonna have to order it directly from Blix.
Wow.
But it's
Yeah.
nice because it doesn't have any of the blue lines on it. It has just a little bit more tooth to it, and so
Yeah.
My
I use-
still
I can
has
use it
some
for-
Marvel cover stock with black borders.
you still have Marvel cover stock with black borders. That's what Mike says. So apparently you're not using it very much. All right, so dude, what are we gonna draw today?
Well, you've had votes of Darkseid, Iceman.
Iceman, Darkseid. What was the other one? Thor, the mighty Thor. Not just Thor,
Not
but
Thor
the
Frog.
mighty, not the mighty Thor.
Ooh, my face is on fire. I'm for Benadryl.
I was gonna have to take Benadryl.
Sometimes if I have a beverage.
You know what? It's up to you. And whoever has the most, as far as just say those three that you mentioned, then we'll do that one maybe.
Well, here come time for a Darkseid throwdown. Bring on the Kirby Crackle. Mm,
I mean, we just did what was that last one?
Black Bolt, wasn't it?
Yeah, and before that it was another Kirby.
Kung Fooey.
It was Pootie Kang.
Boo, what'd you say?
Pootie Kang.
Oh my gosh. Well, we did have
That's right. It was Kang. Yeah, that's right.
a suggestion to draw Hong Kong Fooey,
Number
which
one super
oddly
guy.
enough, my brother was Halloween once as Hong Kong Fooey.
Did he really?
That's
There's another Darkseid.
that's racially insensitive. We can't do that character.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a black Chinaman dog.
I know. You got a black guy voicing a dog playing a Chinese guy. You couldn't go more wrong if you tried.
Oh man.
Yeah, looks like Darkseid's gonna win.
Well, the only votes I'm getting here is I'm not drawing Hong Kong Fooey, but the
So funny though.
someone said Lion-O.
Is
I don't know,
this?
Thundercats. Cthulhu. That's this. It's like this squid-headed monster thing. It's from an H.P. Lovecraft.
I'm not Mike Mignola. Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
One could argue that Hong Kong Fooey is actually the most diverse character.
That's true.
You
That
could.
is very true. But not in this sensitive day and time.
No. No, you couldn't. Dark Side is. That's why he wins. What about King Kong Fooey instead?
Oh.
Now, here's somebody brought something. They said Scarlet Witch and or the Vision. And I was actually thinking Vision too. And then I thought, well, maybe I'd let David do the Vision and I could draw Scarlet Witch.
But how do they vote then?
So how would that be a competition?
And it wouldn't be. It'd be more
Right.
like a companion pieces. But, someone says Batman. Oh, that's too.
No.
No Batman.
I would destroy Aaron if I had to do Batman. I don't want to.
Oh, them fighting words. Break out some Hong Kong Fooey.
Oh my gosh. Draw Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken.
You were going to go see that movie last night.
I was.
That's funny.
So we have a local theater here, and they they'll take what do you call it, a second run theater where they, after a movie is gone through the big theaters, they'll take it and show it. And but they also show like old films and horror films and things like that. And they had a double feature this past weekend. Not this week. I thought it was this weekend and I missed it. I was very upset. But it was Escape from New York and the original King Kong.
Wow.
I know. And I missed both of them. I was so ticked. Now they got the Big Lebowski and something else. And I'm just like,
Meh.
that doesn't motivate me to go see it in a theater.
No.
Yeah.
Hong Kong Fooey is Batman. Yes.
Now, wait a minute.
In a robe.
Did anyone notice a similarity in design between Mr. Sinister and the Vision? I thought the Vision looked exactly like Colossus. That was my problem.
Yeah. I agree with that.
The Vision has the same collar as Mr. Sinister, I guess, but
Not
he
the
looks
same
like,
flat top.
yeah, I mean, he looks exactly like Colossus. I thought they were related or something. And it was like they never, ever addressed that. Someone just said, oh, Sylvester was being lazy or something. So I don't know.
All right, I'll do Vision. You do Scarlet Witch. So it won't be a competition.
Just a
'Cause
friendly camaraderie drawing.
I'm tired of whooping you.
It's fatiguing.
I love you.
I don't want to beat you down, my brother. I want to reach out to you and uplift you.
you
All
guys
right.
are-
Right.
All right.
All right. I'm going to go take a Benadryl.
Get that those
Yeah,
fiery
I
cheeks
went
under
to
control.
the allergy doctor and he's like, so does it only happen when you drink alcohol? And I was like, oh, yeah. Ew. Yeah. I used to get these big purple welts. I think that was when I drank Bud Light. Sorry, Bud Light.
Well, it means you gotta step up your beer drinking
yeah.
game, I guess. If
You're killing all your potential sponsors.
that's
I know, darn it.
But
oh, here she likes her some
Thank-
White Claw.
thankfully, she's not adversely affected by Taco Bell, so we're still hoping for that.
Oh, well, not in my
Sponsorship.
face anyway. And good night.
And
Yeah.
you're all weak. Tip your wages. All right. Do you want to come back in when I close out?
Maybe. You're lucky.
Wow.
You want to
Privilege.
come back in to resuscitate Aaron's dead corpse? We're not competing. I got to get that
No.
out of my head.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll draw the Vision, and we'll see.
Then I'll just draw Scarlet Witch, and then we'll see.
Okay. No. I'm going to do Scarlet Witch on gray paper because people can be able to see my pencils on the
Dang.
gray paper where they can't really see it. Dude, what are you doing?
You don't worry about that. You worry about what you're doing over there.
I'm worried about the audience getting.
I'm getting
Same.
my
This is not a professional looking show, so.
I'm getting my Black Snyder on. Trying to get the camera just right to make the
Yeah,
most
it's
beautiful
okay.
pictures ever.
All right, all right.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
does
man.
it? Do you have? Do your temperatures start to cool off in September in New Mexico, or do they stay hot for a while?
This year went a little bit longer, but it's cooling off right now, so it didn't feel too crazy.
Yeah, I still want to. I still want to go there and like I want to visit because it looks like it's really scenic. I have never been to New Mexico.
Oh. Definitely have to do like a trip out to Santa Fe because that's actually the place to look at. Over here it's just a bunch of houses and
You're near Santa Fe though, right? I mean, that's like.
it's an hour away.
Oh, okay. So, when are you going to reveal your characters for your Williams verse?
Well, I'm hoping to once I get my YouTube page up and running and stuff, I'm gonna start, pinching off pieces here and there for people to check out and say, here, check this out. Peep this. Here's the newest, latest. Not giving a whole bunch of information, but showing things here and there and showing the process of me drawing, and get people acclimated to seeing them, and asking questions, and I'll be there to answer questions and all that kind of stuff there. So get people hyped. I don't want to keep always just drawing Batman and Superman, and they already got their train going. I want to get my train going. Or if I'm going to draw something out of what I own, I'll probably just draw friends characters. I'll draw the Wraith. I'll just say, hey, check out. Look, I did this Wraith. Promote friends characters just to draw them. Because they deserve hype just like any other character.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, the Marvel and DC don't need our help
Exactly.
at this point.
Well, they need mine. I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but they definitely need mine.
Maybe I should say they don't want my help. Maybe that's would be more accurate.
They don't want yours because you're spanking them.
That's right.
You let them know that I don't need you.
I got my own thing going on.
If they call me, they're like, David, you want some cheese on that burger, right? I'm like, dang. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I don't think they'll be calling me ever again. So I think I have, without even trying, I have successfully burnt that bridge. So.
They won't have it forever, so it's all good. And it's not as if, you necessarily need it now,
No, I hope not. I hope that the Wraith of God will be the start of a completely and totally independent career.
That's what
That
I'm
would be
talking
the goal. Randy Howell says Marvel and DC will be crowdfunding before long.
Well, at the very least, they're going to be licensing those things out, and who knows, by the next crowdfunding thing that Aaron gets, he might make so much money that he'll take the license and he'll get to do whatever he wants with it. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be the sweetest revenge? Is to get control of the characters and save them.
I'd be like, Lord, take me now. I done synced it all. But that would be sweet. That would be so sweet.
So do you do, I know I've asked you this before, but I'm trying to remember, do you do the, when there's a show in your neck of the woods, do you do it or do you stay away from them because
I used to do them, but I don't do them anymore. It's like they don't appreciate you because they know you.
yeah.
You know,
Are you talking about the fans or are you talking about the promoters?
a little bit of both. I mean, the promoters, they always want you, but it's mostly the fans. Is if they see you all the time, they go, "Oh, this guy, this guy, this guy." You know, you got to make them want you. You know, or have also new things to make them want you. You know, so I don't want to be in people's face all the time.
Yeah. I'm just getting tired of traveling.
Yeah, I was never big into it. The only reason I like doing it, or I won't say like traveling. I don't like traveling. I like going places just to be with my wife just for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just have, you know, some time to, you know, go see things and do things just exclusively with her after the show, you know.
Right.
But don't want to have those things be the excuse to, you know, get out of house and do things. You know, I want to just be able to do them anyway.
Yeah, we've always used conventions for an excuse to travel because either I go there and, you know, pay for it myself, but hopefully make enough money to pay for the trip and, you know, and bring some home, or someone is paying my way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so those always ended up being our vacations. Were always attached to shows.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever gone any place. we went to Mexico one time for like a week, like 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
or more actually, and just for vacation.
Yeah.
But every other vacation I've ever taken has been attached to a show in some way or form, or some way, shape or form.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. Same here. And I don't want to do that anymore.
But it's so much cheaper.
It is, but like in the situation that you're in, you know, with this comic, if you keep on working it and you're being faithful to the fans and you're producing good stuff, you'll be able to do it without the impetus of some show that you're, you know, struggling at to, you know, oh, I hope I do well so I can pay rent, you know, something crazy, you know. So I want those days to be gone, you know, and people want to buy my stuff not because of the connection to Batman or Superman or whatever
Right.
their BS is.
Well, I think that's the ultimate goal, you know, and it was, I had this conversation multiple times with Terry Dodson about, you know, stop promoting Marvel and DC and start promoting your own stuff. And I mean, Terry's done a real good job of that. I mean, he's got enough of, you know, he does projects through Image and Europe and stuff like that that are not Marvel and DC related. Although he continues to do covers and stuff for Marvel and DC, but I don't think he really does any interior stuff for him. Because he's got his own stuff going on, and so I was always smart. And I do a little bit of that, but never as much as I needed to, because you want to take advantage of that while you've got, when you got a Marvel and DC audience, it's always good to take advantage of, you know, promoting your own stuff when you've got a built-in audience, you know, for the other.
Sure.
So I am about to purchase 2 replica guns for use in Wraith of God.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because as I continue to draw, you know, you draw like a low angle, or you draw the gun coming straight at you, and it's like all you got is a side view of a photograph that someone, you know, that you got off the internet, and it's like it's so hard to extrapolate that into a, you know, a 3-dimensional image.
Yeah.
And so someone was like, dude, they make replicas. And I hadn't even thought about it. And there's like a ton of sites that do like Western replica guns.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been pricing them out, and they're all like, you can get like a really nice Western pistol. Some of them are cap guns, some of them don't fire, but they're authentic looking, and for like $50 to $80.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And so I'm like, that is in my price range. So I'm gonna get a handgun that the Wraith will use. I can use for a model for him, and then I'm gonna get one of those short double barrel kind of shotgun handgun things
Mm-hmm.
that Esther's gonna have. And so I'm actually kind of excited. It's like when you're a kid, and you got those gun sets when you were little for Christmas.
Yeah.
The ones they don't make anymore.
Sure.
But no, so it's actually pretty cool. And like I said, they're not like super expensive. So
on mine I was gonna go hyper, like, I gotta detail these and make these look exactly right and this, that, and the other. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with going that route. But for the more expressive art that I was doing, choosing to go a different route from the typical Western, I said, well, let me do it like what Kirby would do. It was the general shape. It wasn't slavishly trying to be this thing, but every time he drew it, there'd be something slightly different every time, but you still understood what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people dig, what I did there, and some people just like, hey, it doesn't have exactly this many, holsters, screws in it, and blah blah blah. I'm like, you guys are missing the point. But you know what it is, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing, and it's like I remember when I was doing Green Arrow covers like ages ago, and people are like, no, that's not how you're supposed to hold a bow, and that's not where, and I was like, but I mean, I get it. It's like, there's, if you're doing a, I guess, if you're trying to do authentic Western, then, I want it to be as correct as I can make it.
Sure.
If for no other reason that I will take less criticism for it.
Yeah.
Because some of the guys that I, hang with, like Graham Nolan and Billy Tucci, those guys are like, they're on that stuff, and I know I'll be getting grief from them if I don't do it the right way. So, and I'm not a gun guy, I'm not a machine guy, so I don't see that stuff, and it doesn't stay with me.
Yeah, like Michael Golden.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to go back, and I have to have something I can look at. I've had to draw tanks and things like that before, and that's just, God, that's a royal pain in the butt. But I'm always, pulling reference for that stuff, because it just does not, machinery just does not stay in my head at all.
Yeah. It's like math.
Exactly. I mean, I think, we've drawn enough guns that you can, like you said, you can fake it. If you've got, like, if you're doing a superhero comic and you got a character like a super villain that has a gun, you assume they're going to have some sort of modified, gun that you can sort of take liberties with, right? Because it's a sci-fi type gun. It's not an actual whatever. And so I've always faked that stuff. And but when you're doing military or things like that, you can't really do that. You have to sort of be correct.
Yeah.
So, I can't remember what Scarlet Witch's collar looks like from her with her cape. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Look at you.
I know, isn't that terrible? Can't remember guns. I can't remember Scarlet Witch's cape.
I'm messing up right now too, so I can't really.
See, I remember I could do the vision from memory.
I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just trying to see which one hits. I'm like, is it like this? Wait. Oh, okay. So I'm figuring it out too.
Oh, there's a Frank Cho. Oh, it's funny. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Here's one where she has a cowl sort of around her neck. Kirby's original version, which I'm not doing the Kirby version, but it looks like she just has sort of a cowl around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
No, like Doctor Strange stuff or anything like that. Oh, there's another one. Yeah. All right. I guess I'll go with the cowl. Some of them have the longer arm gloves. Some of them have the shorter ones. Where's the continuity, man?
Yeah, I totally forgot his collar. Look at there's. What am I doing?
Got to get those. It's funny how, like, the classic costumes, for the most part, stay with me.
Mm-hmm.
I can wing just about any classic Marvel character and be pretty close.
Yeah.
But it's these newer incarnations of their costumes that I'm just like, it didn't used to be that difficult. Someone would get in touch with you and say, hey, I want a commission of, whatever. And you just, like Thor, right? And so you just do the old Kirby Thor version, and that was totally fine. And now it's like, well, there's the Copiel Thor, there's the Kirby Thor, there's the, Simonson Thor, where, he gave him that sort of, where he gave him the beard, and the different armament. And so it's like you can't take anything for granted. Even like, I get a lot of Kitty Pryde requests, and it's like, which version,
Yeah, exactly. She changed her costume almost as much as the Wasp.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's another one.
I think I'm doing a hybrid of new and old. So for the fans out there who are anal retentive about it, I apologize.
That's right. You're going to upset some purists out there.
I was a DC kid anyway, so.
That's funny, because I was totally Marvel all the way. I had zero interest in DC Comics, other than Wright's and Swamp Thing, and then like Neil Adams' Batman was cool,
Yeah. You didn't like Batman and the Outsiders. You didn't like Teen Titans. You didn't like.
No, Teen Titans was sort of like DC's X-Men, weren't they? I mean, they're kind of hip comic. They're, and I guess even Simonson did that crossover. Was that him and Claremont? I can't remember who wrote that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was it was Wolfman, or was it Len Wein or Marv Wolfman did that X-Men Teen Titan crossover thing that they did like in 1979 that Simonson did?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, I think I might start over.
Sphinx 4 and his ring shipper said, David Brohawk Williams, don't forget Viz's solar gem, or his soul gem on his forehead. You got it.
It's right there. Were you just laughing at me?
No, I was laughing at the fact that you said you were starting over.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking I can make it cooler.
Well,
how far are you? Let me see. Oh, you're pretty far.
Yeah, I'm crushing you.
Oh, we're making like a so I should do it to make it like it's a companion piece.
Well, I suppose, but they can't really.
I could catch up to you. No worries.
Hey. You do whatever you want to do. I remember when I was doing Excalibur, the newer version with Claremont, after my cross-gen days were over. And near the end of the run, we were doing House of M crossover stuff. And so more mysterious. And I'm like, okay, no one's is not going to know who this is. You know what I mean? So I kind of cheated and I put it heavy shadow, but not to the point where it sort of like covered up all the important stuff. And you could still see both the characters, but I was like, oh, here's my chance to do this, cool Scarlet Witch cover, and put them in silhouette. I'm like, no. So, and I think that came from Casada. Was like, we want them in silhouette because it needs to be mysterious. And I'm like, so I did them heavily shadowed, but didn't silhouette them.
They said, we don't want you to be able to resell this and make any money. So
that's right. So put them in silhouette. I'm like,
silhouette shadow. Because we know the future and we know that you'll be on the wrong side of this political divide. So screw you.
That's right. No extra money for you, pal. I know that Claremont, well, actually, I was a little ticked, but not as much as Claremont, because that was sort of his, I think that's probably the last thing he did, was that before Marvel started paying him not to work.
Uh-huh.
So they ended the series because of House of M.
Mm-hmm.
And what he was doing with this Excalibur series was the entire, it was Professor X and Magneto and a bunch of new X-Men that I got to create or co-create with Chris, which was kind of fun. And a couple of old regulars, but ones that were not very popular.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were all on this island, trying to start this whole new mutant civilization. And it didn't, of course, wouldn't work with what they were trying to do with House of M. So they just ended the whole thing kind of abruptly, I remember. And he was none too pleased about it. But I've never been a huge X-Men fan. And so I was never, and it was all new stuff. So it wasn't like I was drawing, Cyclops and Colossus and Jean Grey and all the regular gang.
Mm-hmm.
So I was largely unfamiliar with the characters who were using other than Professor X and Magneto. And I mean, it was fun that I got to create a bunch of new ones that sadly apparently they've never used. I don't know, maybe they have used them and I just don't know because I'm not paying attention. But so that was all right getting to create new ones with him. But at the same time, I was like, more people would read this book if we could get some more of the classic X-Men in here.
And they're like, hell no.
No, they're too busy in their other books. Where's my Wolverine appearance, man? Yeah, I walked right into that right after CrossGen. I had been... I did 2 or 3 issues of Captain Marvel, which actually was interesting. It was kind of fun. It was shot from my pencils, so because it was one of those. They were not inking books that weren't selling enough, so they keep the budget down.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing these super tight pencils and scanning those and sending them in, and actually back then we were still sending pages in, as I recall. So I would take fixative and spray it all over these pencil pages, right? So they wouldn't smear. And then I'd throw them in the FedEx box. And then they were telling me when they showed up at the office,
Mm-hmm.
they'd open the box, all these fumes would just come out. And So it was like, dude, what are you putting in there? And I'm like, oh, I'm just spraying them to keep them. I tried to let them air out overnight, before I packaged them up, but we were on a deadline and everything else. So it was like, I couldn't let them sit there for a week. So the smell was completely gone. But yeah, I guess you'd open up those boxes and because I think even when they returned the pages to me, they still smelled. So it was I can imagine that was pretty strong when they opened those boxes in the editorial offices and all those fumes just came rushing out. But yeah, I did the 3 issues of that and then went right into Excalibur. And then did some more just like New X-Men or something like that, which was like New Mutants, but it was like the New Mutants crew, but then they were now the New X-Men or something like that. So it was like, who's that devil chick? What's her name? Colossus' sister.
Oh, Ileana?
Yeah.
Lilandra or whatever.
Yeah.
One of them.
Ileana, or whatever her name was, right? The blonde girl with the sword, and she becomes like a demon sometimes, and
yeah.
But she was in it, and then there was like some other ones that I recognized, but it was during like sort of this when they were in that black leather stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we didn't get any like the classic costumes. It was all this sort of just their motorcycle outfits or whatever they were, magic, I guess.
Yeah.
I always called her Magique, but it's actually pronounced magic. They just spelled it differently, right? That's what you guys were. They told me in the chat, I don't know, a while back. It was like, no, it's magic. They just wrote it that way so that they could trademark the name Magic. Yeah, that makes sense. But so I did a few issues of that, which was okay. But again, it's like no one's in their costume. So it was like, you're just drawing teenagers in black leather. So you're kind of like, eh.
You're like, no.
Whatever. Then I did that Sentinel Squad miniseries, which was with John Layman actually wrote that. And again, it was, for what it was pretty fun. But again, it was all new characters and just driving around these giant sentinels. But to Layman's credit, he asked me what I wanted to draw, and I told him, and he wrote it in. So it was like there was a sequence where they fought Galactus, and there was a sequence where they fought the Hulk, and there was a, just so I could draw these characters. And they went to the Savage Land, so I could draw dinosaurs, and so it actually was kind of fun to work on. And I had Norm Rapman inking me, so it turned out really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I just bounced around forever, man, and over at Marvel, just doing different things until I even Planet Hulk was sort of a last minute thing, and then I did. Then I finally got on a regular series again, which was Ms. Marvel, and then I left for DC after that. And never looked back.
Sometimes it gotta be that way.
Yep. So this is weird. I don't know if I want to. Since this is on gray paper, I'm going to go full screen here and show the kids at home.
Man, Aaron, you kicking my. I think I talk too much.
That's see. You talk too much. I'm carrying the show, man.
But you know what? It's not a competition this time, so
it isn't. That's right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just fun. It's just drawing for fun.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know my take on Adam Warren. I always liked Adam's stuff. I thought it was kind of interesting. He was like and maybe I'm wrong on this, but it seems to me he was the dude that he was like the one like American guy who took on this sort of this pure Japanese manga style and did it as a as like an American comic book artist.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, everybody's influenced by that stuff, but he really sort of he really embraced it. I mean, that's what he was. It was like he was doing Americanized manga, and I thought that was pretty cool, actually. And I'm not a huge manga fan, but his stuff was cool.
He has the most beautiful original art. Just
Oh yeah,
his pencils are just like.
yep.
I could be at his table just an hour, just staring at his stuff. Amazing.
Comics Legend wants to know, Aaron, will you be making an official handbook for the little Presti comic universe? Not. That's actually for my next campaign. That's actually a pretty good idea. Because the next campaign I'm going to expand from Wraith of God. Wraith of God will be included, but it'll be some more characters. So that might be a good idea to do then. There is going to be one of the stretch goals on my Wraith of God campaign was adding a bullpen bulletin page like Marvel used to have, and a value stamp like Marvel used to do. I'm going to do that, but in that bullpen bulletin, I'm going to give descriptions of different little Prestiverse characters that are going to be coming soon and that type of thing. And so it'll whet your appetite a little bit there. So it's not a handbook. There won't be drawings of all these characters, but there'll be, like little bullet point descriptions of them, like, they used to do in the Marvel books. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. Let's see. Does Randy say Sphinx or Sphinx? Oh, Claremont wouldn't want to manage the X line anyway, as editors have no power anymore. Well, someone's calling the shots, but it's, yeah, you're right. It's up higher than. They're either letting the writers run roughshod, or they're people above management, above editorial, is calling all the shots. How much of Esther's backstory will we get in the first volume? You will get all of it. You're going to get most of the Wraith's backstory and most of Esther's backstory. And what I like to do is I don't like to do linear storytelling, because if you start with an origin and you just go straight through to, they become the character, then they do their first adventure and whatever, you've got, you could have like 20 pages of origin before any of the action starts. And I definitely don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I like to start in the middle and then kind of flash back and sort of piece stuff together. I think it's just a more fun way to slow reveal information, as opposed to just like give it to you all up front. So that's kind of how this story is going to be laid out. So we get, obviously you guys have seen the first 4 pages now, because I posted the pencils to page 4, where we're right in the middle of the action, and he's taken on several werewolves, and then we move into the main thrust of the story. And then during those portions of the story, there are going to be key moments where we flash back and we get bits and pieces of their backstories and how they came together and all that kind of stuff. And then it sort of all comes full circle by the end of the story. So I'm actually really.
Can I tell your fan, the people in the chat, a spoiler about the Wraith?
No. What did I tell you? If I told you something, I must have told you not to tell.
I just can't let it go on, because
go.
The Wraith is actually Bass Reeves.
Thanks for ruining everything,
Yeah.
David. Gee,
Because everybody's Bass Reeves now.
Is that the?
Yeah, he ends up in Watchmen. He ends up on some of the CW shows. He ends up. I'm like, he's everywhere. I'm like, sheesh. He is in the zeitgeist. So we also reveal who the Kool-Aid Man is, and he's Bass Reeves.
Now so basically Bass Reeves is a time traveling cowboy.
That's what I'm saying.
He's everywhere.
Yep. He's every man. He is the law. He's Judge Dredd.
There you go. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be something? They finally unmasked Judge Dredd, and it's Bass Reeves.
Bass Reeves. All right. This is better.
You feeling better about your vision?
Yeah. I'm drawing like intentionally like on a wacky angle, so it kind of elongates my characters and stuff like that. Because I'm trying to do something a little bit.
You're purposely doing that for stylization. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. So to give it a little bit more tude and a little bit more funkiness.
Yeah. That's actually not a bad idea, because it's like forcing yourself to kind of do something that you wouldn't normally do, but you can't really control it, because when you draw flat, you're getting a skewed perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to naturally stretch out your characters a little bit. That's actually a very clever way to make yourself do something maybe you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah. I'm a genius.
Well, yeah. I've always said that. That's all I do is I spend time talking about what a genius you are.
And I appreciate it, Aaron.
Well, I got your back, man. The genius that is David Williams. No, but I got to say now, I'm going to give some spoilers about your stuff. Having seen a good portion of the characters involved in the David Williams universe, you got some cool stuff that I am very excited for you to leak out, so the masses can enjoy it and start to anticipate it.
Yeah, I'm real excited about it. I mean, the first book I didn't show you the first character from the first book I want to do. I showed you the characters for the events that happened after the first book. So that's why I want to get this first book out, to make people go, oh man, I got to see these next things, Right. So it really is world developing, so I showed you an advanced,
It's kind of like stage 2 is what you showed me?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
So the first thing is just going to feature a main character that sort of sets up this other stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I was, in between drawing Bass and finishing commissions. That's all I'm doing is just doing these little sketches and thumbnail layouts of cool pages that I've been like, oh man, it could look like this, and and also drawing things that I've never drawn before, or stuff that people never seen me draw before. Not that I didn't think I couldn't do it, but
You just
never got around to, or never had the opportunity. So
are you talking about character-wise or subject matter, or
just things
environment?
In general, like where some people don't get to draw horses. I never drew horses in comics before until Bass Reeves.
Right.
So
right.
that's a new territory for me, So in this next thing, there's going to be those other things where I'm like, you didn't see a lot of ... from David Williams, and you're just going to see, me just vomit a whole bunch of this stuff, and they're going to be like, whoa, I didn't know he could do that,
Cool. Well, I mean, I think at our age, and as long as we've been in the industry. It's like
Mhm.
that's what you do to kind of keep yourself motivated, right? Is give yourself challenges that, so you don't just fall back into the old routine of drawing Superman or whatever. You're doing stuff that you haven't had a chance to do before, and it sort of motivates you and energizes you.
Absolutely, for sure.
Hang on a second now. Someone told me that my campaign has gone over 97,000. Let's take a look.
Woo!
I'm going to, well, hang on a second here. I'm going to take a look. I can't share the screen because it's on the same browser. I'd have to open up a new browser. There it is, 97,073.
Woo, 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 woo.
1,347 backers, and we have 7 days left. Thank you very much. So thanks, Randy, for the heads up, and thank you out there in the chat for backing the campaign. I kind of want to get this to 100,000 just to say I did it. I'm super excited that it's had the success it has so far, but why not go for 100, right?
That's right.
Let's see. Comics Legend says he loves the foreshadowing on David's drawing, or foreshortening, excuse me.
Oh, thank you.
Brian Suddenly Old says Bass Reeves was in Briscoe County Jr. I didn't know that. I didn't really watch the show.
That's cool. Did you see that Magnificent Seven remake with Denzel Washington?
I did not. Although I kind of am intrigued by it, but it seems to me I read reviews on it. And it didn't get that great of reviews. Maybe I'm mistaken.
It didn't. It's worth watching. I think you need to put down, don't hold it up to the original. It's definitely doing its own thing, but Denzel is doing Bass Reeves. That's what he's basically doing.
Well, I'm a big Denzel Washington fan, and so that's what kind of attracted me to the movie in the first place. But then I was like, the original is so good. It's like, this cannot measure up, and so I'm just going to go and be disappointed. So
I mean, I'd be that way too, and generally I am on that type of stuff, but I said I got to take that out of my head and not hold it to that standard because it'll fail no matter what.
Right.
So, and I said, am I here to be entertained? And at the end of the day, I was like, I was entertained.
Well, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah. I didn't like everything about it, but, it had some fun things about it. It was it was definitely Hollywood. It just reeks of, Hollywoodisms.
Yeah, it is kind of funny how they there's like formulaic stuff that somehow works its way into most movies that you're kind of like, if they had just been bold enough to not do that, this might have been a more interesting film. But it's like they're totally convinced there's certain, and I guess they're right, there is certain formulas that tend to work, but if you use them too much, then they just become trite, and then you're like, I mean, there's something to be said for giving the audience what they want, but at the same time, it's like, try and do it in a way that maybe is a little bit fresher than what we've seen before. But I don't know how many writers and directors out there are real visionaries. Most people are just sort of, rehashing what they've seen before.
Sure. I mean, all of these films are usually research and development for some new technology, and
yeah.
And also, it's a double-edged sword because it's Hollywood's fault for making most people more sophisticated in what it takes to make a movie. So everybody's an armchair director.
Sure.
And they know what it takes, and they got the behind the scenes stuff, and they know all the terminology, and they forced, people to, or directors to, do these formulaic things and stuff that they know,
Mm-hmm.
and they're almost kind of killing the auteur who could bring something new to the table.
Yeah, you almost have to, somehow squeak by with a surprise hit that gives you enough clout to kind of do your own thing.
Exactly. And they're not willing to take risks on those types of, directors anymore, because some of those types of people end up being a little bit too much of a personality. And take Josh Trank for instance. He was considered, that up and comer, and who was very talented, and kind of jacked his career. He's barely doing television now. So,
well, it's funny because I had my roommate who was a film director. He directed my roommate in college, not my current roommate. My current roommate would be my wife. But the guy, my roommate in college, Aaron Schneider, he directed Greyhound most recently, that Tom Hanks film. It was actually pretty good. And he was offered Glory Road. Okay, if you remember, that was the story of the basketball coach from Texas Tech who brought in the first five black starting five.
Yeah.
Took them all the way to a national championship, right? But it was a Bruckheimer film, right? And so he was like, what he told me was that he didn't want, because he knew that Bruckheimer would control the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would basically be just end up making a film that would look like anybody else had directed it, because Bruckheimer was the producer and he had a certain look and a certain feel and a certain way to do his movies.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like a Bruckheimer film is pretty easy to spot most of the time, regardless of who the director is. And so that's why he ended up turning it down, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Kind of like how the Marvel films have turned into.
Yeah. Well, and the Disney princess films turned into that. It was like The Little Mermaid was such a huge success that they just kept using that formula, and it worked for a while, but then it just kind of got old after a while.
Sure.
It eventually died out. But I just thought that was interesting, because if you're looking for a break, and Bruckheimer's like, "Hey, I want you to direct this," and you're going, "Nah." How many of us would actually have like balls enough to do that and just say, "Nope, I'm not going to do it."
Not me, because I'm like, I want to eat.
Yeah, I know. No, I was saying, I'm like, yeah, I'll direct that. Sure, heck yeah. But you look at movies, even ones that were successful, like Remember the Titans and stuff. You've never seen that guy that directed that ever again.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it was pretty poorly directed film. That's what irritates me about that movie, because it's very manipulative emotionally, but it's still a very enjoyable film. And of course, you have Denzel in there kicking butt, like he always does. That makes it worth watching. But it's so poorly directed, and it's like, it's like they just found a warm body and threw him in there, And Bruckheimer was sort of like sat back and sort of directed from behind the scenes or something, I guess.
Well, see, that's a double-edged sword, because there's an aspect that you want. You're like, can't you guys get it right by now? And then, you know what I mean? And then there's that guy who could slide it in and do this formula. And you're like, how dare you do a formula? That kind of thing. And then there's the other aspect of us as consumers. It's like going to see Evel Knievel. We're not seeing him to be a success. We're just seeing if he's going to crash.
Yeah.
So that's how films have turned into, and everybody's waiting to see the crash so that they could go on YouTube and diss the movie and stand on their moral ground, because they're, couch directors and saying, this is why this sucks. He didn't use
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And we lost the innocence of just in the wonder. And it's Hollywood's fault, again, for allowing us to know who's behind the curtain. Oh, it's just an old man. The wizard is nobody. You know, it's just an illusion. You know what I mean? So if we were never allowed to see who the wizard really is, but we only get this big green ominous head, we'd still be in awe of it. We're not in awe of movies anymore.
No, that's true. And it's you know, I have this discussion with people about, you know, the golden age of Hollywood, right? Where you had the studios were protecting everything and everybody. And, you know, that's not to say that every film back then was a masterpiece and every, you know, the studio heads were great people or anything like that. But they projected this image and they maintained this image and protected their stars and protected their financial interests and their properties. And so, you know, people idolize these movie stars and films and stuff because they all seem so wonderful and magical and wholesome, despite the fact that, you know, a lot of the actors and, you know, were on doing drugs and doing everything else that they're doing today that we happen to know about because there's, you know, nothing's hidden anymore. But there was kind of that, there was some sort of wonderful pleasure about being naive, you know, about that stuff. So
Absolutely. It'll never come back.
No, of course not. Yeah. It's, you know, but I still get that feeling when I watch old movies, you know, you know, obviously, you know, Errol Flynn about what he
those are time machines that we could always have, thankfully.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a good way of looking at it. Because it does sort of, I mean, it's the same thing with reading comic books. It brings back that sort of, that feeling of your youth when you were a little bit more naive and, you know, this stuff was really wonderful and we hadn't pulled the curtain back and really understood that maybe some of the people creating this stuff weren't these wonderful people that we imagined them to be, or that there was, you know, like the Marvel bullpen was this magical place where all these artists and creative people hung out and just did wonderful things all day long, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to demystify any of this stuff by reality and by politics and all this other kind of stuff, because when you have a character that's about truth, justice, and the American way, but you find out that the people behind who are running it are not about any of those things.
Yep.
It kind of sours you even on the character. You know, you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, it does. You're right. It does sort of, it poisons it. And you can't, once that's happened, you can't get it back.
Yep. But that's why you got to create new things and give, you know, new heroes, new ideas, and you know, the thing that you're railing against, you got to bring it to the fore and say, this is how, and this is what I'm talking about, and prove that it's still a viable way of, you know, doing these things.
It's a really excellent point. I mean, because that is really, that's always been the hardest thing, right? Over time is to get people to buy into new characters, and because it's so easy to jump on the bandwagon of the iconic characters that have been around for 70 years or whatever it is,
For sure.
and are more a part of the cultural lexicon than, you know, than to try and convince someone to start over with a brand new character that, or characters that have no history. And but
that's the big lie, though. That's
right.
That's what they've always been telling you. That's why they kept people like you and me trapped over there and dependent. But when we would see evidence of talents that would do their own thing, and then those giant entities would go to them and say, hey, would you want to do our character? They say, yeah. Like Michael Allred. I keep using him as an example. He created Madman, and he worked that thing and worked that thing and worked that thing until Marvel and DC came to him, and he said, yeah, I'll do a Superman book, but I get to put Madman in it. Yeah, absolutely. Now he validated Madman on the same level as Superman.
Yep, that's a good point. Excellent point.
And there's other examples of people who've done the same thing. Rocketeer, Hellboy, how are they any better than you? They're not. Or anybody else in this chat who chooses to do art, or do comics in that form. You just have to work it.
Yeah.
What was that? If you build it, they will come.
Yep.
I believe that. I just think a lot of artists like ourselves have been brainwashed, and we did a disservice to ourselves for not taking the example of Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, and Stan Lee of creating, even though they created for that company, but they were still always creating. Well,
right.
if DC and Marvel are not giving you the playground to create, go somewhere else or do it yourself. Everything is a sacrifice. You know how much Jack Kirby had to sacrifice? I mean, I know he had some hungry nights. Even though he was fast, he was a hustler. But back then, people looked at comic book artists as like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
What do you do for a living for real?
Yeah.
There's no money in this.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, that's a good way to look at it, because it is right. We all sort of grew up wanting to work at Marvel or work at DC and to be a part of these characters that we grew up with. But it does sort of stifle creativity and growth, because you do create a character for Marvel or DC, and now they own it. You get, and then when they kick you to the curb, which eventually they kick everybody to the curb, then they've got your character and you got nothing. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, most of us, other than a villain or two here and there, right, you're not really creating new characters.
Mike Mignola worked in the industry, a good 25 years before he created Hellboy?
Probably.
Okay,
well,
but huh?
Yeah, well, no, because Hellboy was what? When was that? It was in the late it was the mid 90s when they did their Legends imprint. Dark Horse did, and he was an 80s artist. So he was a decade in the industry before he.
Yeah. Well, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, he's done a lot of DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
But when he gets introduced, how does he get introduced?
Creator of Hellboy. Thank you.
What's more impressive? Oh yeah, I worked for DC, or I created Hellboy.
Right.
No,
that's totally legit, man. It's like, because that's what's going to last. I mean, if people are still concerned about, what am I leaving behind? The fact that, I mean, Herb Trimpe, they say, oh yeah, former Marvel artist Herb Trimpe, or former Marvel artist Sal Buscema, So what? Then I'm Aaron Presti, former Marvel artist, or DC. But then if you create something of value within, I mean, again, we have to put it in perspective. We're talking about pop culture entertainment, but you still create something that's lasting in that arena, then you get remembered for a specific contribution that you are responsible for,
Yeah.
As opposed to just a guy that worked on someone else's stuff, which is not unlike a ton of other people.
I don't think anything for DC or Marvel has been significantly created since I would say Chuck Dixon creating Bane, and what was it? Todd McFarlane created Venom.
Yeah.
And what's the other big baddies? It's always based around some bad guy. You know, there's no real significant superheroes where you're just like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, not that has been created in any, since,
Well,
Starlin.
all the great creations for those companies from that point back, that's when it all happened. Anything forward from that, you could just shrug your shoulders.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, even the Image stuff didn't last that long. Or, it was like short popularity, but they haven't really stuck around pop culture that
they
much.
got absorbed by the big two.
Yeah.
Except for Spawn and Savage Dragon.
Yeah. Geek Avenger wants to know, what brand of pencils are those, Aaron? I'm using these colored pencils. They're all over the board. I got tons of them. Most of them are either Prismacolor or, believe it or not, Crayola. So I have this huge bag of, Crayola again. So these are pretty much a combination of Crayola pencils and Prismacolor. But I do also have a few, or recently when I buy new ones, some of these are really old, but the ones I buy new, I buy these Faber-Castells, which are pretty nice. But I'm not a big, I've become a guy that's not a huge, it's not so much the product, it's who's using it, or how you're using it, maybe would be a better way to put it. So I'll use anything that's within reach. But those are generally the three that I have. When I'm buying the new stuff, I usually buy the Faber-Castells. Let's see. I got to address some people here in the chat.
You got to undress them.
Yep, got to undress the chat.
That's nasty.
Okay. Let's see. Hollywood hasn't had a vision for years. Well, that's true. But as David Williams draws the vision.
There you go.
Sphinxor and his ring shipper says, David Brohawk Williams, Hollywood did same to Tony Kaye, and long before him, Samuel Fuller. So that was obviously when we were talking about Hollywood. Ignorance is bliss, boy, isn't it the truth? There you go. The current stewards of the icons don't care about the legacy. Frankly, I'm ready for new characters. The old characters are still good in back issues. There's a lot of truth in that. My son, he only reads back issues. He doesn't read any of the current stuff. He's like, buys those Marvel Essentials and reads those.
That's a good boy. You raised him right.
Yep. Randy Howell says, Twitter has pulled back a lot of curtains, revealing a lot of bitterness in all these beloved industries. I'm looking for something fresh, too. There you go. Awesome. So perhaps the market is ready for all this new stuff. Comics Legends, of course, says, Wraith of God is one of the books I'm looking forward to the most. Thank you very much, Comics Legend. Norrin Rad, that's a killer Wanda. Thank you. No comment on your vision, though, David.
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, and then Jeff's trying to get in here with a little bit of sass. Says, actually, Aaron, you're Aaron Lopresti, Shelley Showtime's husband. And let me present you with this, Jeff.
Boom. Cannonball to the gut.
Well, here we're talking. Somebody brings up Sphinxor and his ring shippers brings up Liefeld's Cable and Deadpool as characters that guys actually got to create that stuck around, and that's true.
Yeah,
Liefeld did have or does have quite a contribution to modern comics.
He was a creating fool.
Yep. It's interesting that this interesting to see about this Ditko lawsuit. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I find it kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's no way that anybody's taking down the mouse.
Yeah, they don't have enough money. Contribution for the replica gun fund. Thank you, Randy. Shelley can use it to ride shotgun in the future stream. Oh, okay. I'll give you a laugh for that. That was I almost gave you a boo for that, but it did make me kind of laugh, so I'll give it to you. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. Okay, Norrin Rad's coming in and says, "Oh yeah, awesome vision. Also, I'm a fan of Bass Reeves, and I'm looking forward to issue 4."
It's coming.
There you go.
Thank you.
So you got a few supporters out there in the. No, actually, I bet you got a lot of supporters out there who would love to see your stuff, your new stuff.
Well,
See, I'm a even as a kid, I was very much drawn to art
mhm,
in the comics.
Yeah.
And so if I liked the art, then I would buy the comic.
mhm.
It was very rarely did I buy. In fact, when I was reading Captain America, Frank Robbins had just taken over the book, and I'm not a big Frank Robbins fan. And but I hung with Captain America because I love Captain America, but I got to a point where I just couldn't take Robbins anymore. So
Really?
I quit buying his stuff. Yeah.
I love Frank Robbins stuff. It's
Really?
So wacky.
I know. It was just too wacky for me. I was like at that time, I was sort of a John Byrne or John Buscema guy, and it was like everything looked like it was supposed to look. And if it went too far outside the lines, it kind of lost me. And so Frank Robbins, I have a greater appreciation for it now. I kind of find it sort of wonky and interesting. Whereas when I was a kid, I just didn't get it and couldn't stand it. And so I actually quit buying Cap because of.
Wow. You're all Frank Robbins ruining my childhood.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but see, then again, I was really attracted to guys that were doing more like illustrative work
Sure.
and not so much cartooning. Because I was a big Wrightson fan, Barry Smith, Frazetta before that. Those are guys they weren't doing typical comic art.
You're a Wrightson fan? No.
I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it? But those are your like standards, right? And then you're like comparing everybody else to those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Buscema I liked Buscema because again, he was a really good draftsman, and the stuff looked like it made sense to me, and but if it got too weird, too far outside of what we maybe considered a Marvel House style for superhero stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't really get it. And so I just, only buy the books that drew stuff the way I wanted them to be drawn.
I like guys who push the borders.
Well, I do now a lot, but back when I was a kid, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't stand Ditko or Kirby when I was a kid.
I love Kirby. I
I
never became a Ditko fan, even still to this day. I appreciate him, but I never looked at him and like, yeah.
Well, me neither. But it's like it becomes you learn how to appreciate it, even if it's something you don't necessarily like. You can appreciate what they're doing or what they're attempting to do and why it's effective, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And but some of Ditko's stuff I did kind of like, and some of it I didn't. He was very hit or miss with me. I kind of course, this isn't a fair comparison, but he drew a series for DC. I think it only lasted like a couple of issues, like maybe less than 10 issues. But it was called The Stalker, and it was like a medieval sort of sword and sorcery kind of thing.
Yeah.
About 1975, 76, I would guess. And but Wally Wood inked it. So it's kind of like.
Then you're like, oh shoot, that looks awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was still sort of simplistic and like Ditko does, but it had that really nice Wally.
But that
Wood.
ends up being kind of not fair because that's just like having Kevin Nolan ink you no matter what.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But so that was like one of those times where I was like, oh, Ditko never looks so good, because you don't really, I don't think when you're a kid you really understand, what role an inker can play in it.
Yeah.
So that was, I remember getting that and kind of thinking, hey, this looks cool. And but I did discover later, you'd find issues that would like ink, because he did like was doing some stuff at Marvel. Like he worked on a couple issues of Daredevil, right? Like around 10, issue number 10, I think. And I remember getting those issues as like back issues from like an old bookstore, right? And looking at it and going, wow, there's dual lighting in here, and there's all these different kind of things that you didn't normally see guys do with the inks.
Mm-hmm.
And he took, I remember Ross Andrew drew the first issue of Cole, the Conqueror. And I was a big King Cole fan. I thought he was a much more interesting barbarian than Conan, because he was a king and he had responsibilities, but he was still a barbarian, yet he still had to be responsible. So I thought that was interesting. But so I was reading his books, and the first issue was drawn by Ross Andrew. And Ross Andrew is decent, but not spectacular. But he's solid. It was fine with him on Spider-Man for as many years as he was on there. But Wally Wood inked the first issue of Cole the Conqueror that Ross Andrew drew.
Mm.
It is freaking awesome. And I remember looking at that going, wow, Ross Andrew really got it together for this, and really went next level. But it was really just Wally Wood doing the finishes over him.
I mean, I didn't hate Ross Andrew. He was he was another great Spider-Man artist for me. I was just like, oh.
Oh yeah, he was the guy that drawing when I started reading Spider-Man, he was the Spider-Man artist.
Yeah.
Romita is still my favorite, but I discovered Romita after the fact, obviously, because he was way off the book by the time I started reading.
Yeah.
And because I was Ross Andrew and Romita were the guys that, and Gil Kane were the guys that I associated most with Spider-Man. When I would go back and find those really old Ditko issues, they were like so different. I was like, I don't really like these.
I always thought Ross Andrew was the Garcia Lopez of Marvel.
I can see that. I mean, his stuff was solid. He had a little bit of wonkiness to his stuff that kind of gave him a, you knew it was his stuff like right away.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, because I would always I could see his stuff on stickers and all that kind of stuff and marketing type art.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's as good as, I'm just saying.
Right. I get what your point. Yeah. Randy Howell says, Shade the Changing Man by Ditko gave me that old Doctor Strange acid flashback. That's interesting because that was another weird Ditko series in the 70s. And I remember I got the first issue just because it was the first issue, right? And but I didn't stay with it very long. But I found it interesting enough to kind of flip through it a little bit, and it was weird.
Was the the Changing Man the same one that Chris Bachalo ended up doing?
No, I mean, it's the same. I guess it's the same character essentially, but it's not. Ditko's book was more of a superhero book, and I'm not really sure what his shtick was, because I read it when it first came out, but I haven't really revisited it since. So I have very vague memories of what the heck that actually was all about, but it's not the same. It's not even what they did with him in Vertigo and stuff.
Yeah.
Very different. But they kept the name,
I mean, I'm thinking, did they do that just to keep the name?
Well, I think yes, but I think it was also probably someone said, it was probably a concept there that someone kind of liked and said, hey, you know what, if we did this with that, a writer, I mean, not an editor, but a writer came to him, I'm sure. Was that Grant? I don't know who did, not Grant Morrison. Was it?
Neil Gaiman? No,
No, it wasn't Gaiman. It was that other dude, that other British dude.
they're all Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, I know. But I'm sure somebody came to him with that and said, you know, I want to, if we took Shade, the Changing Man, and did this with him, it would be, you know, and they were like, sure, we're not, you know, we're not doing anything with the character. So
Dang shame.
Micra says, look how great Liefeld's stuff was when he had real writers on it, like when he snagged Alan Moore. Yeah.
You mean you didn't like him when he had Hank Canals?
Was Hank writing that?
He wrote the first Youngblood.
Did he?
Yeah.
I to be honest with you, I picked up Pitt because I'm still a huge Dale Keown fan. So I picked up Pitt. I picked up Spawn out of curiosity, even though I was never a huge McFarlane fan, but I did sort of appreciate what he was trying to do. I mean, I read him on Spider-Man. I was never an Eric Larson fan. I'm even less of an Eric Larson fan now. And I never, you know, I was never into Valentino. Sylvester I thought was I don't know why I didn't really get into Image books. I probably picked up Wildcats #1 and then, like I said, like Pitt, but I don't know that I don't remember ever reading Youngblood or, you know.
What's his name? Eric Larson unfriended me on Facebook.
Oh, did he?
Because I ain't black.
Is that what he said? He didn't say that. Did he?
But Joe Biden did.
I know. Because Joe knows.
That's
There's
right.
there's no white guy that's blacker than Joe Biden.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't like anything that Larson ever says or posts, and I've never heard a good story about him personally. So, and I don't know him, so I wouldn't, you know, I'm not going to disparage anybody's character, but I have not heard. No one has ever said to me, Eric Larson is a great guy. So,
I never had a issue with him. You know, I went to his house a couple of times, and he gave me work, and you know, he was always cool, and we would talk at shows and all this other kind of stuff. But apparently, like I said, I ain't black.
well, you know, in comics, if you don't vote for the right person, you're canceled.
There you go.
They don't care what kind of person you are or anything else. If you don't vote right, you are canceled.
Oh, nice. Is are we like seeing the real color?
Oh my gosh.
Ethernet victory!
Yeah. How about that? I just noticed that. I've always had these horrible problems with the color being represented correctly on my remote camera.
Damn Wi-Fi.
And we finally plugged into the Ethernet, and look, my colors are right on the money now.
You're like, ta-da!
Ethernet, we
It
love
only
you.
took ruining the look of my house, but that's okay.
Yeah, we got this 100-foot cable strung all over the place.
I think we can deal. We can deal. What else we got? I'm just gonna go back.
Shelly's going to get caught up on the chat, so
Yep.
I've been trying to.
Oh my
but,
gosh,
you know,
Randy, thanks for the super chats.
yeah, he said that I can use it towards my gun replicas, and you can ride shotgun. So we got a little bit of a laugh out of that. Not a huge laugh, but I did give him a laugh.
That's a good one. Is Jimmy here? Oh, Jiminy Cricket.
Husker, stop it. My dog's over there chewing on my art supplies.
The Geek Avenger.
I did answer
I
that.
love that name. It's like me. Oh, you guys were talking about Twitter, I see.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I didn't even realize the color was getting reproduced accurately. You guys are this is what it looks like. For the first time, this is what it looks like.
It's pretty observant, this man.
Well, I'm having a conversation here. I'm trying to, keep up with the chat.
You guys got chatty while I was gone. Hit that like button. Smash it.
How about giving us a Public service announcement, Shelley, while you got control.
Let's see. Don't. Oh,
No, go to that thing.
I'm kidding. Goodness sakes.
She's going, don't smoke. It's not healthy.
Let's see. Do this one.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
She did it. Yay, producer
Girls
Shelley.
got skills. Like, subscribe. Well, I am pleased to tell you that
Yes.
you went over 97.
Randy Howell
Oh, you ruined the surprise.
ruined the surprise.
Randy. Nope. Someone's more observant. Well, I saw it and then I thought I could yell. I could get up. And tell him later.
Yeah, it's not that important.
I'll tell him later. Somebody will tell him.
Yeah. We'll get it figured out.
It's okay, Randy. I will forgive you, eh?
Well, getting back to our conversation, David,
Oh,
you,
did I
you
interrupt?
did well. No, you did post a lot of you were posting a lot of political content on Facebook, so you must have grabbed his attention.
I actually wasn't. I was just responding to people. I never posted like trying to start anything. So
Man, I'm a shit stirrer for sure then.
Not on this
I
channel.
just retweet
you,
stuff.
You stir
like-
the crap. You meant to say.
Oh, sorry. Gosh. My filter's not working today.
But
Ryan.
even if that's the case, as a man, wouldn't you come to me and say, hey, in private, I've known this guy. I've known Eric since I was probably like 17 years old.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think, but they do not do that. They are more concerned with getting pats on the back on social media than actually having the decency to contact somebody away from social media and ask them, hey, well, number one, what do you even care? Why is it even a thing that you're concerned with other people's political viewpoints? It just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why is that even? Why would Eric Larson even care about your political? I mean, I don't care. I'm friends with a lot of liberals or progressives, and they post stuff all the time. And I'm like, yeah, it annoys me or whatever. But it's like, I don't care. They want to post it, let them post it. I don't have to read it.
Exactly.
I don't sit there and block them.
Remember
It's
the
just
days when there was
absurd.
like certain things you just didn't talk about?
Exactly.
Yeah, that was before social media, before you could get brownie points for,
Mhm.
social
Well,
media.
What was somebody, I think it was on Twitter, and I can't remember who said this to me, but I thought it was a great line that everybody has a black belt in keyboard karate. And I thought that was like the perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Shelley toe time to Shelley's shit stirrer.
See, now we got people using 4-letter words on my show
Oh,
because
it's a
you
family
start-
show, Shelley.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Yeah,
You're in so much trouble, Shelley.
I am. I'm just stirring it again. Oh, too funny.
And the word is spit from now on.
Spit. Yeah, not.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay. Yeah. I'm
Got to
getting
be
myself in
creative.
trouble.
You got to be creative with your 4-letter words.
Yeah.
Or skit, either one.
Yeah,
That's
there you
right.
go.
Because there could be somebody's kids, like Hyper Potatoes kids,
Sorry.
watching right now.
Oh, I'm so inappropriate.
Because they like to watch
I'm
us old guys
sorry.
draw.
Oh, sorry.
Shelley bad.
much-
Bad.
Too much White Claw and gummy bears. It just is
Oh,
not.
sugar high.
Did you see the chicken enchiladas I made?
I did. And,
Yeah,
I
You
could-
made chicken enchiladas. What?
Did you
and
see
Mom
which one?
told me about
She
the
took-
gluten-free ones.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. They were
Okay.
really good.
All right.
So good.
I made them.
Hashtag justice for Shelley. I know.
I made chicken enchiladas before I came on, and then had Nana throw them in the oven for me because I knew we'd
Super
be.
good. And then he made special gluten-free ones just pour moi.
Wow. That's a good man right there.
Right.
I know.
It took her like about 5 to 10 years of marriage to train me, though. But I finally.
Apparently, I'm not a very good teacher.
And
Oh, well, 5 years. That's a long time.
Dang.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yep.
I
that
don't
for
like.
you or
I
me?
don't know. I don't like to have to. I don't like to have to hit my wife on the live stream, but you got
Lest
that
you
one.
forget that I'm a
Yeah.
kickboxer.
That's what I'm saying. You better watch out, Aaron.
That's
Shelly sugar time. There you
see.
go.
Look at that. Look at see. Brian calls me whipped. Are you kidding me? Okay, now we've got problems.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, you like to
Oh,
cook.
I
I
do.
did all the cooking.
Wait a minute, I'm not done.
Oh,
I'm not done with Brian yet.
Not done. Ha! Take that.
Shelly and I made a deal. Shelly and I made a deal when we got married that she would do the laundry and I would do the cooking.
Ooh, I better
Correct?
go do some laundry.
Yeah, get down there and do that laundry. What the
I
heck?
have some. I need to change it up.
Oh.
Goodness.
dang.
See, now she's run off to do laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fair trade, right?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Even though I don't do none of that.
Okay, truth be, I actually like cooking and I'm a better cook than she is. So it's like,
Oh, you wouldn't
No, I
say that
know.
when she was there.
no, I'll say it to her face. She's not bad though. Like, because when I was at CrossGen, she did all the cooking because I was working and she wasn't. But when we're both working, that's the deal. She does the laundry and I do the cooking. And that's, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not huge on baking. I'm not a big baking guy because I don't like following instructions. I much rather just kind of wing it.
Mm-hmm.
And baking, you're such a slave to the cookbook and, pardon the expression. And, so I'm not a big fan of that stuff because I'm not very patient. Although occasionally I do make blackberry pies because no one else eats them except me. And so if I want one, I actually have to make it myself. Because everybody, they don't want the seeds, right? Like,
Yeah.
So, so I can bake. I just don't. I don't like following instructions.
Look at you.
So, I mean, it is what it is, man. It's just, I admit it. Oh, wait a minute. Alpha Potato calling me out for my microaggression.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute now. Geek Avenger says I cook Chinese, Thai, Indian, and I do the grilling and roasting.
Dang.
Wow.
I'm coming to your house.
I know. Well, if you can make good Chinese food, because I love good Chinese food. And actually, I never was a big Thai fan, but I've become it because that's like kind of a comic book staple. Comic book people like to eat Thai for some reason. And so I ended up at a lot of Thai restaurants over the years and actually kind of like it. You guys didn't kill me for this. Alpha Proto wants to know, did I call him Alpha Potato before? Alpha Proto. He says, who does the dishes? I hate doing the dishes. My 90-year-old mother does the dishes.
You're terrible.
I know. Isn't that horrible? But she is so uptight about doing the dishes the right way.
Yeah.
That she just gets pissed at us if we do them anyway. So it's just kind of like, all right, fine. And I think it says quite a bit about her that she's at 90 is healthy enough that she can go down and do the dishes.
Yeah. As long as you don't make her do it.
No, I do not make her do the dishes. It's one of those things where like, Mom, you don't have to do that. Yes, I do. You know, you can't do everything. I got to help out and blah. So I'm like, all right. So we don't argue with her. I'll get as much out of her as I can.
Look at you.
I consider me being helpful. I'm keeping her busy.
Yeah. So, what did your mom think of your career choice?
My mom was always super cool about that stuff because she's kind of a frustrated artist herself, and she was like she was like a big fan of um, like pinup art, like George Petty and stuff
Oh
back
wow.
in the
Okay.
day.
Cool.
And so she would always read like the newspaper comics, like Dick Tracy and Mandrake the Magician and things like that that were um, in the adventure strips in the newspaper back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always been a big sci-fi fan. She's the one who turned me on to Star Trek.
What the
So
heck?
I know. And so she always thought it was kind of cool, actually. And she's one of those moms who like doesn't talk a lot but listens a lot, and was very supportive. And my dad was he wasn't supportive. I mean, he thought that he didn't get the whole art thing, but he wasn't like aggressively against it. So I didn't have like any opposition,
Mm-hmm.
but he was not for it, but he didn't really make a big deal about it. And my mom was very supportive, so I was able to kind of do what I wanted to do. And then, of course, the story I always tell is my dad. We took a this was in the 90s. We took a bus up from Portland to Seattle to watch the Blazers play the Seattle Supersonics,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when Clyde Drexler was there, and Portland was actually like really good.
Mm-hmm.
And
Clyde the Glide.
yep, Clyde the Glide. And so we're having this conversation on this bus road trip up there, and I told him how much money I was making, and it was actually making more than he was. And that's when he was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that was a pretty good choice for you."
That's
It
awesome.
was once I was able to show him that I was actually could make more money than he was making, and he wasn't, he was a meat cutter for Safeway, so he wasn't. We were not, wealthy people, but my dad was a very blue collar sort of guy, and he needed, it was like, you got to work for a living, this drawing's not work kind of thing. And but when I was able to show him that, yeah, you can, I can make a decent living doing this, he was like okay with it. So
Yeah, as long as you're not in his wallet, he's good.
right, exactly.
He said, "You did good, son. All right." I mean, all fathers want to be proven wrong in that arena, so that's good.
I think so. Yeah, they don't want their kids to end up doing better than they did. So I'm in a bit of a competition with my son because he's an engineer and he's actually doing very well, especially for a kid who's just turned 28. I won't reveal his salary, but he's doing very well. And, it's kind of like, because he's getting married in December, it looks like. And so I was like, dude, if you're going to buy comic books and stuff, you better do it now. Because once you get married, that's going to end. And his fiance is really cool about it, but she's not into comics or any of this stuff. She doesn't really get it, but she's all right with it. But him dropping $1,200 on a comic book right now is one thing. Him trying to do that after he gets married, that's going to be another thing.
Hey, son, let's measure paychecks.
That's exactly. That's yeah. Well, he's going to. He hasn't beat me yet, but that's only because I had a really incredibly good COVID year, which I think a lot of people did, which is very bizarre. But yeah, but now that I'm totally doing independent comics, man, I'm going to be ripe for him to take me out if I let my guard down. So.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in graduate school right now while he's working, so he can even up his pay scale. So he's doing all right. Now, unfortunately, my daughter's taking an art major. So,
What you mean, unfortunately?
well, I mean, financially wise, it's probably not.
Oh, I got you.
But that's her thing. That's what she likes to do. So I'm, it'd be pretty bad for me to be a professional artist and not support my daughter.
You're like, are you crazy, girl?
Yeah. You're mine.
Haven't you seen me my whole life? Ridiculous.
Of course, the thing that my kids know is that I was always home and always went on their field trips and always was volunteering at school and stuff because I had the flexibility to do that.
Yeah.
And so they probably thought, oh, my dad makes all this money and he never has to go anyplace. Like, okay, well, first of all, Dad doesn't make all that money, but he doesn't ever have to go anyplace. That is true. Except to the art supply store and FedEx. That's looking pretty sweet, David, I have to admit. But see, it's not fair that we have these like competitions, if you will, because I'm a big fan of your artwork, so it's really hard for me to be unbiased in judging this when it's a competition because I like your stuff so much.
But it's not a competition.
You're right. It isn't.
We're just fooling about for the people.
That's right. Showing you a little pulling the curtain back, right behind the process.
That's right. For the love of art.
For the love of art. I'm going to give Scarlet Witch blue eyes, even though I know she wouldn't have blue eyes probably with brown hair, but it's going to stand out, so I'm doing it.
Man, all my grays are drying out. Hate that.
Dude, there is nothing worse than having to refill those pens.
I don't. I throw them away.
You don't refill them?
No.
Oh, dude, you're wasting so much money.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to be doing too many more color commissions after. I only got like 4 more to do, and after that, I'm like, no, I'm done.
Black and white or nothing.
That's right.
Well, see, you can go the colored pencil route. It's a lot more work, colored pencils, but or watercolors, I suppose. But that's, I guess, in some ways, that's even more work. So, well, I'm going to get out my, dude, I have done this full color. I'm going to get out my Presto whiteout gun that you turned me on to and put some highlights in this girl's hair.
Now I'm going all Frank Miller, blacking it all in. See, got to be able to adapt.
Oh, man.
So what are you inking your Wraith of God pages with?
Microns and brush.
Look at you.
Mostly microns, though, because I don't... crow quills, I never really got the hang of. I mean, I can do it, but it's like... I mean, let's be honest. These micron pens are so good, and they're so easy to use. Why would I want to complicate the thing if I don't have to? I mean, I used to be a purist, like Gary Martin. Gary Martin's like the ultimate purist, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he takes pride in being able to do everything with a brush because it's so stinking hard. And I appreciate that. But at the same time, I'm like, why do I want to kill myself when I can get the thing to look exactly the same way with a lot less effort?
Yeah, I think some of those guys who are like that, and I love Gary. I love Gary.
Yeah.
But I think I've always been trying to tell him to, hey, why don't you use these pens? These pens are cool. Nope. And there are some things that a pen does that I don't care how good you are with a brush, you're not going to achieve some of the line work. And sometimes,
yep, I agree.
You don't want a bouncy, lively, thick to thin line. You want it to be dead. you know, and sometimes that comes off and it creates, you know, a certain aesthetic, you know, with the pen line, you know, that, you know, sometimes I think people who do brush and also do it as well as Gary and so precise, people forget there's a person that's doing it.
Yep. You can very easily, with a brush, you can ink the life out of something.
Yeah.
Because it becomes so slick and so uniform in terms of your approach, that it loses some energy. And I've actually had that happen a couple times with stuff that Gary's done. You know, I was like, Gary, rough this up a little bit, man. Give me a little bit more Wrightson and a little less Brian Boland.
Yeah.
And, you know, but that's hard to ask an inker to do because their job is to ink the lines you lay down. And if I'm laying down super tight lines, then he's going to ink it that way.
And that, and also these inkers are trying to have a voice in the art as well. You know what I mean? And us telling them, hey, do this and, you know, use this tool. Well, we're telling them not to have a voice, you know. And that's a hard pill to swallow for any artist.
Yeah, because then at that point, it's like, you know, the old cliche, oh, you're just a tracer, which is not true.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm sure that what it makes them feel like, you know, it's like, so I never would do that. I would just tell guys, you know, I don't care what you do. I mean, I specifically went after Gary originally because I got some inking early in my career that I thought was not helping my pencils. And so I thought if I can get someone to do a super slick professional line that's going to help my work, and I think it probably did. But then after a while, as I grew as an artist and, you know, I wanted my stuff to feel more organic, Gary's stuff was just too slick. And I couldn't get away from that. And even Matt Ryan is super slick, but he has a little bit more an aesthetic that goes with what I was going for than Gary did when I started, you know, changing my approach a little bit. But if I had different inkers ink me, I would just tell them, I go, look, I'm not telling you what to do. Just make sure it looks good.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes because I think anytime you try to make an inker go outside their comfort zone and do something they wouldn't normally do, you're not going to get their best stuff.
Exactly.
So you got to find an inker that I think has the same aesthetic you do, and then just leave them alone and let them do their thing.
Sure. I mean, there's a situation where it happened with, where I had Al Gordon inking me, and Al Gordon's a great inker, and it was like a Superman story, and I penciled it a certain way, and I had an inking thing because I thought I was going to ink it. Yeah. But it was one of those situations where they already promised the inking job to him. Right. I was just like, ugh, all right. And it wasn't like I don't like him as an inker. I think he's a phenomenal inker. I think that I didn't think that he would achieve what I was looking for. Right. And so we get on the phone and he's like, hey, what kind of style are you looking for? So he was touting himself like he's malleable. So we're on the phone and he's saying, oh yeah, you know, and I'm like mentioning, oh, kind of like a, you know, almost a Terry Austin style, but not quite, you know. Yeah. And I was just like, you know, something akin to, you know, Carl Story, you know, this is kind of an old school type of story. So I'm thinking a little bit older. He's like, yeah. And he's, you know, I get the things and it's typical Al Gordon, you know. Yeah. And I was just like, and he goes, oh, what do you think? I was like, you know. And I'm sure he took offense to it, you know, and I wasn't trying to be, you know, that. I was just like, well, you know, you can't come into the thing, yeah, it's gonna be, you know, and then it's not that. And then I'm like brutally honest with anybody when it comes to art. I was like, or I could give like a, you know, a fake response, and I let people know. I said, look, it's like when I do reviews at shows and somebody wants to show me their portfolio, I like, do you want the convention speech or do you want the truth?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
They all say they
And-
want the truth, but I don't know if they all really do.
Yeah. But to professionals, I don't give them an option. I always tell them the truth because we're professionals.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so those are some of those things that makes me go, okay, I just can't, I'm not as good as Al Gordon and I'm not as good as Gary Martin, you know. But I had to come to the realization I just got to ink myself. You know?
Yeah, I've kind of got to that point too, because it's like if you like Matt Ryan's a better inker than I am, but he inks the way I for the longest time that I wanted my stuff to look. If I inked myself, Matt would look just like I would, except he'd be better. But I'm getting away from that a little bit as the more I had the opportunity to have someone like Danny Mickey ink me, who, really brings a nice kind of energy and texture to his inking that I really sort of liked. And he would always take my stuff and it looked like I drew it, but it looked dressed up, which I thought was really cool. And so, Danny Mickey, of course, is probably the most in-demand inker in the business.
Yeah.
So I'd always try to get him, and, he liked my stuff likes my stuff because it's like old school, and he can he gets to ink something that's old school, but then kind of dress it up a little bit. And which is why I like it as well. But he's just, he's always inking, top books.
Sure.
And never the kind of stuff I was working on, like, Metamorpho miniseries, right? Yeah. Why would he do that? I'm going to leave Batman to work on Aaron's Metamorpho miniseries. So I started, kind of messing around with it myself and seeing, I can't ink like Danny, but I can get that kind of energy feeling that he brings to it that I wasn't getting doing the super slick brush stuff. In fact, the last issue or two, I think it was the last two issues of Justice League International, the new 52 that I did, I had Matt Ryan ink it with a pen. Because I said, he goes, oh, I don't know. I don't really use a pen. I go, just do it. I said, because I said, dude, he has the right aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
But I said, the stuff is too slick. So use a pen and give me a little bit more pen liveliness to your work. And he did it and looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's good that, he was malleable to want to try it at least. That's always good.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's way more comfortable with a brush, but it was kind of funny. I was like, because I was getting, I think it was Mike March said, Aaron, he goes, I love your pencils, but for some reason, some of the stuff in your pencils is not coming through in the inks. And I didn't want to lose Matt because there's so few really good inkers out there. I mean, you're talking about really good, right?
Yeah.
And he's one of them. And so I didn't want to go through that. And so I said, dude, they may be splitting us up. Do this with a pen. See if you can bring a little more energy to it. And he did, and it looked fantastic, but they ended up canceling the series anyway. And then they wanted to do, when I went to Amethyst after that, and they wanted to try shooting from my pencils. So I had to break up with Matt anyway at the time, which kind of screwed him, and I really feel bad about it. But I was able to hook up with him again, over the last probably 5 years. And then he was able to get some stuff. I think he's still doing stuff at DC, which I was grateful for, because I was afraid that, because, he put his everything in working with me. And then, when I didn't have anything and had to branch out on my own, it was kind of like, well, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
So I was going to hire him to ink Wraith of God.
Really? Oh.
But he doesn't need it. So he's got.
So I don't need you.
That's right. Well,
And I bet he saw where it was. He's all, dang, I should have took that job.
Well, the thing is, I would have had to do what I've done on the campaign to actually be able to afford, to pay him to ink it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thankfully I did, but I had no way of knowing that.
But
What I
hey,
want-
more money in your pocket. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
And
So-
and that's the thing too. What I'm actually liking. It's sad because a lot of inkers are out of business and stuff like that. But a lot of great inkers that are getting off their shoulders and actually drawing and producing their books, like Art T. Bear and
Art's
you
a
know,
really good penciler, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I like his
fantastic.
stuff.
But people forget that though.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see people like him. And I think Gary's penciling some stuff for some company, and I'm like, good, that's awesome. And Richard Friend, he's another one. I'm like, good, get to drawing. And I like to see their wealth of what they've done over the years and how they would spit out something through pencil, and have their imagination, fully realized instead of, making guys like us look pretty.
Right.
And I'm kind of sad and glad at the same time, because I would still love to have Richard Friend ink me. We never had enough, projects. He inked some consumer product stuff of mine over at Warner Brothers, and Danny Mickey inked some of my Marvel consumer product stuff, and both were fantastic. And I was just like, man, I wish it was pages.
Yeah. Well, now did they do their typical thing, or did they do more?
Oh, yeah. They totally did their thing, and I was just like, but if it was actually storytelling pages, I think it would have blew people away. They'd be like, oh shoot,
I'd like to. You must have scans of that stuff, right?
I think I do. I
I
might.
would love to see what Danny did over you.
Yeah.
Richard too.
That boy got talent. I never got to talk to him. I wish I would have.
All right, bro, are you done yet?
Hey, you rushing me?
I'm done. I'm gone over this a couple times to beef it up a little bit, but
Hey, this is my third go at it, so.
no, I can't help it if you can't get it right the first two times.
Hey, you talking smack?
Yeah. See,
I don't know about that.
I can talk a little trash myself, dude.
Dang. I'm almost finished.
All right. So I want to give you some full screen here.
Some full screen action.
Jeff, Jeff says Art's campaign just passed the stretch goal today. Awesome. Mike Miller says Gary's style is very slick. Don't blame the brush. That's true. I mean, Klaus Janson used a brush, so.
Yeah. That's funny. G Money is just slick like that. Show your Scarlet Witch.
Well, I have been.
Oh. Well,
I've been jumping up, doing full screen, and
read some more chats. How are the people doing?
well, let's see. 91 Extreme RT says, now this is interesting. With my ammo manufacturing small business I own and operate, I love my ammo plant that I can crank out volume with less work, but it's a more enjoyable process doing it manually one by one. Interesting. Because someone had made a comment about me coloring by hand in 2021. That's crazy props. Now, wait a minute. Alpha Proto says that's not an archival marker. I don't know who you're referring to. You turn to David, because mine are archival, the ones I'm using. Is yours a archival marker? David? The heck is that?
It's a Marks a Lot.
Was it like a high grade Sharpie or something, or is that actually?
Yep.
But is it archival, or is it going to turn like purple in like 6 years?
Probably.
Oh man.
Just don't frame it and put it in the light.
I know that's the thing is like I have a couple things commissions and stuff hanging on my wall, but most of my commissions are in a portfolio sitting in the drawer.
Exactly.
I'd be done, but David, I'm waiting on David.
What?
Coming in to
What?
stir the pot. What are you doing?
Shelley's like, "You still on?" And I'm like,
No,
"Yeah."
I just looked in,
Yeah.
waiting for you to make some comment about laundry.
Mm-mm.
Oh, he did all those comments.
Those comments.
He was saying all that. He was talking big smack about you doing laundry or not doing laundry.
It's
He
still
said
cool.
he said he was going to say something to your face. I can't even remember what he said.
No. Oh, I said I'm a better cook than she is.
Oh, there you go.
But I said you bake really well.
Hey, Shelly,
I said you cook fine. You just
get some of that kickboxing action going. I'm
Oh,
trying to start.
Lord. I used
I'm
to
trying
do
to get-
it all.
I'm trying to get that fight going.
Yard work.
That's what I said. When we were
It's good.
in Florida, and I was working full time, and she wasn't. She did everything.
Yep. The house was clean. Oh, those were the days.
Some good old days.
So white still doesn't give the good color?
No, well, no, but it just the light reflecting off the white still washes out the pencils and inks when I'm doing them. So that's why I went gray with this.
Cool.
So there we go.
Alrighty then. Nice girl.
There it is. My finished piece, David. Where is your finished piece?
Getting there.
Hey,
I got enchiladas, chicken enchiladas down there to eat.
nobody cares. You gotta wait. I'm
I,
almost finished. I'm almost finished. 3 more bricks.
I give you credit for like blacking all those bricks in, man. That's you're gonna run those markers dry.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's a great piece, man. I gotta buy some stuff from you.
You better save your money for your next issue. Wraith of God.
I know. I gotta get a finished piece from you because I've got like that.
I already told you I'm doing a piece for you.
Yeah, I know, but that's true. But that doesn't mean okay. I'll just buy the original art for that.
Man, shut up.
Well, no. I mean, just because I hired you to do a piece of artwork doesn't mean I get the original.
What am I gonna do with it?
I don't know. If you want to give it to me, I'll take it. But
Yeah, I see. Well, there you go.
Let's try-
Darren,
you okay? Are we ready? Can I show this full screen?
no, I gotta sign it.
Okay.
I gotta tag it.
No, because I got you and I got Mike Miller's doing. He did a really cool drawing of the Wraith, and it's the perfect shape to like make a sticker out of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use his drawing of the Wraith for the sticker, and then I'm going to have you do. Well, yeah, I'll give you a choice of several different characters you can do, and then I'll probably end up doing the rest of them. But
Dang it.
where are we at here? Was it Aaron? You sabotaged his camera focus and threw David off tonight, didn't you?
Yeah.
I will neither admit or deny anything.
Now
Jeff,
you made my whatchamacallit dry out.
okay, yeah, Jeff Brossamer says, "Love my Sunday night Aaron. What I can see of it." Well, that's interesting. Now, Devil Flyer says a little Michael Turner in that Scarlet Witch. I don't know. I'm not a Michael Turner guy. I mean, I know his work clearly, but he was never someone that I looked at as an influence or something. But who knows? Maybe subconsciously.
There you go.
All right, now we're going to go full screen. Take a look at what David. Oops, I just took you out of the stream. Let me try that again. There it is. Oh, that's cool.
The vision.
Love it. And of course, that's 11 by 17.
Yep.
And David will be more than happy to sell that to you. You can get a hold of David on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not following him on Instagram, you should be.
That's what I'm saying.
And also, another guy. If you're not following Chris Stevens on Instagram, I keep trying to get him on the show, but he's like, I'm not set up to draw, and I'm like,
That
baby.
guy is so good. He makes
I
me
know.
want to break my pencils every time I
know.
see his stuff.
I know, I love his stuff. So you guys, if you're not following David on Instagram, follow him on Instagram and go check out Chris Stevens as well.
Is he in the chat?
Who, Chris?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to curse him out.
Devil Flyer says that vision is dope.
Thank you. So kind.
JP Roca wants to know what's Instagram.
Yeah. It's something that you should avoid at all costs.
Yeah, but it's the lesser of three evils, right?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Once again, bring in the heat. And Danky Frankie says David has a real vision for the vision, but I have to respond with this.
Boo!
Yeah, that was lame. Anyway, all right. So cool. There we have it. I'll give a quick shot of the my Scarlet Witch here as well.
Woo-hoo!
It's like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, right? So there we go with that.
Oh, we're not allowed to catcall women anymore.
That's right. But if they're not real, you probably can, or can. That's probably still frowned upon.
Yep.
And then again, let's go with there's David's vision in black and white, which is very cool. And then Scarlet Witch in full color, which is also cool. So it's dual coolness tonight. In fact,
That's right. That's all it is. It's only dual cool. Dual cool. It's not a competition.
no, it's a friendly. It's like a fireside chat where we're sketching.
Yeah.
Kinma Amnik says, LOL, I love you guys. So there we go. We're getting some love tonight.
That's awesome.
Devil
Thank
Flyer
you.
says, both of you knocked it out of the park. So how about that?
Very, very kind. Thank you.
Leg Kick says, sizzling vision. Paul, the engineer Brill Art, says that vision has 70s Kirby fingers. How about that?
Okay.
He's breaking it down, man.
Yeah.
Colored pencils are a lot of work. Man, that is the truth.
Yes, they are.
Here we go. Jeff Potts says, how about Aaron may have magic, but David has vision.
There you go.
Look at that. Randy Howell says that vision is bringing the heat. That expression means he's about to melt you to slag. Don't you think? I don't want to get off on a tangent here. Just we're about to end the show, but I thought that the theatrical and the television representation of the vision, he was too soft.
I agree.
I thought he was a much tougher dude in the comics.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
But I think they came up with a very good look. But the TV show version, when he had the white version, was awesome.
Yep. Oh, his look was great. I just felt character-wise, he was.
Yes, he was way too soft.
Yep. Look at that. Micro is going to jump in and say, filling in those bricks made the picture so much cooler. You're right, it did. That black in there really sets that off. Okay. All right, Super Jerry, just look at this. Super Jerry is dropping in and saying, what's up, gentlemen? So we've been on for almost 3 hours, and he's just now coming in right when we're ending. Come on, Jerry. Jeez, you're going to have to go back and watch the replay. All right, hey, Shelly? Bueller? I guess I'm
Bueller?
Yeah. Bueller, anyone? Bueller? Mike says he's betting on black. So there you go.
Oh.
Oh, Joe Bernardo wants me to add a ton of Kirby Crackle to mine. I don't think Kirby never crackled up the old. In fact, he hardly ever drew her. He was a little bit in the X-Men, I guess, but it was mostly Don Heck that was drawing
Yep.
Scarlet Witch and the Avengers and stuff. So anyway, all right, guys, we're gonna take off. David, thank you for dropping in and joining me. It's been great fun, as it always is. And I will say, if you guys have not backed Wraith of God, please do so. Get me to $100,000.
Yeah.
Just so I can say that I did it. And the link to the campaign is in the description. So don't be shy. Run over there and help me out if you can. I appreciate it.
Spread
And
the word, people. We got to get this movement going. And Aaron and others are at the forefront. So let's get them over this 100,000. We got to teach Marvel and DC a lesson.
that's right. And David wants the battleground primed so that when he jumps in, he can score a big hit. So
Absolutely.
Randy Howell says we're going to need to spin the wheel to pick between red and black. So there you go. My Scarlet Witch is red, and of course the Vision is black. So, all righty, everybody. Again, thank you, and it's been great fun. And I will see you guys soon, I am sure, because this is my Wraith of God's closing out this week. So I got 7 days left in the campaign, so I'm going to be all over the internet this next week. And keep an eye out for David Williams's and Kevin Grievous's Bass Reeves, and maybe some other stuff coming soon from David that we're all very excited to see. So anyway, good night, everybody, and enjoy your week, and we'll